Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to FE Patriot, Steve, On The Level, Thomas van der Zander, Cannabear, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Amish Battle Merch, Sensual Goat, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMels24, Unimento, Iron26, Endless, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, Level Plain Poem, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan.
Hello.
G'day.
I'm not quite ready. I've got a few things wrong at the moment, so I just need to change those. We'll be about half an hour late starting today. We'll start in about an hour. Live, that is.
So it will be almost 3 p.m. UK time.
No, 2:30. So we'll start in about an hour.
Okay. Same time here, Portugal.
Just pretend I'm not here for now.
It's Nathan. When he's going to turn up? That was me trying to pretend that you're not here.
Nathan who?
Nathan is like me this morning. I just wanted to slip in undetected and not just listen, so to say.
I shaved my beard after many, many years wearing a beard. And my wife was like, what the heck happened? Like, why? Like, she loves it. But she's like, what happened? Like, why? I'm like, I don't know. It just came to me and I just wanted to shave. But I'll tell you one thing, I might have been inspired by Nathan because he shaved bald. He was like, she got shaved bald. And yeah, I showed her Nathan bald and she was like, he likes it. You know, it looks good on him. Like, all right, I don't know if I was inspired by it, but I just felt like shaving my beard, dude. And I look like a completely different person right now. My daughter and my wife love it.
Okay, because like I was just watching a clip earlier of kids, like babies, seeing their dad shaved for the first time and they're freaking out and stuff.
My wife and my daughter love it, dude. They're like, my daughter tells me I took 100 years off my life. I mean, off my look. I'm like, all right. And I still didn't get used to it. It's been days already. I still miss my beard. Like, when I touch my face, it's naked. When I look at myself in the mirror, I feel like my face feels small. It's just weird. Still didn't adapt to it.
The same recently after like 3 months, beard and hair. But my shears out, you know, my razor, and I started shaving my head. And I usually use like a 5mm gauge or something, you know, like on top of it. Forgot to put it on, and I've just started shaving. I shaved my beard, and then I'm started shaving my head, and I'm like, hang on a second, oh no, it was too late. I'd already taken too much off, so just had
So
to
you took
keep
it off?
going.
Yep. No turning back. It'll grow back, man. Right?
Yeah, there's already a couple of mil there. It's
Yeah.
all right.
But yeah,
Krish,
if I was starting to lose hair on top, I would go bald right away, dude. I don't care, man. You know how people like start losing hair on the top of the head, like in that spot? Yeah, once that starts happening, if it starts happening with me, I'm shaving it all off, man. Did somebody call me? Did somebody say something my name? No?
no, Christian Bear now is Christian Bear. The
Uh-huh.
Christian Bear from 24/7. Now he has a beard.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So instead of Christian Bear, it's Christian Bird.
Yeah.
Well,
Righteous is humble muted for any reason or
He might have been hot miking.
he
Sometimes
can
he
be
hot
unmuted, right?
mics.
We
Yeah.
can unmute
What's
him,
that?
right?
Humble H. He was server muted, so he needs to come off mute.
Oh, sorry. I thought I heard Ranger.
Oh. I don't know. If I go without shaving for too long, like maybe like over a week, I don't like the way it feels around my neck and stuff like that. So I don't like it at all.
You
I have
gotta
to
you gotta
shave.
you gotta pass that period. Once that period passes, like where it's like the hair is small and like giving you that like itchy feeling, once it passes, it's all good. It doesn't itch after that.
Nah. I think my favorite is the second, third, and fourth day without shaving. Those are my favorites, or something like that.
Mhm.
After that,
you saw
shave is
Danny Faulkner did join us, but he just left
Yeah, I saw
less
that.
than 30 seconds.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
I call him Danny Boy. Oh, is he still there, George?
I'm here, yeah.
So, George, so 500 years ago, the Portuguese navigators, it was normal. The earth was flat, and they were doing celestial navigation according to that. But these days we have these Glovers, these ignorant Glovers like McToon, claiming that celestial navigation is only possible on the globe. I mean, he's just ignorant in history.
Exactly. They even developed the bubble sextant for the first flight over the Atlantic.
Yeah, Gago Coutinho and Secadora Cabral.
Correct. Yeah, they knew that using the same methodology, they could reach the same destination by air using the same methods. Obviously, to do that, you need to know that the Earth is flat and stationary.
Exactly. They don't have to deep down while flying, so I call it in English, Moorish. You say Moorish?
The Moors.
The Moors, okay. So I did found information that the Portuguese navigators, they did use the same tables as the Moorish, because they at night on the desert to get some reference points, they were looking at the sky and they knew the sky is there every night. So the same stars, so constellation. Yeah, with the same tables, the Portuguese did use that to do celestial navigation. Maybe they did some
Yeah,
corrections, but it's interesting.
they found their way around the world by using the celestials. It was only later on that China shared the compass, the magnetic compass, with the Portuguese navigators, which there are two different methods of navigation. Nowadays we compile them, but yeah, Portuguese were just using the celestials,
Yeah,
not the
you know,
magnetic compass.
yeah. The compass, it has if there's for example an island, it has basalt, from volcanic rocks. So the needle, compass needle, it points there. So it's not very accurate sometimes because of the basalt. So anyway, but the Spanish, I did read something. The Spanish, they had difficulty, with using the compass needles because yeah, some errors. But the Portuguese did invent something. I don't remember the details to correct the compass needle something. But I have to look more.
Well, Vasco da Gama was given the task of finding a nautical way to India, which was never accomplished before, and he done it using celestial navigation, obviously.
And this is a flat Earth guy. That's
Yeah.
before Magellan, Fernando Magalhães, Ferdinand
Yeah.
of Magellan.
Because prior, they first started with observation of the coastal and depicting the coast. They did many journeys with artists on board, even poets. Luís Vaz de Camões, the great Portuguese poet, went on these journeys around the world, and he reported on his book of poetry. Yeah, that was the Portuguese back then.
Exactly. And I never saw an old text from Magellan talking about ball earth. So I think they just just people after that, those years, people did make that false argument, putting words on him, because the guy he was a Portuguese navigator. He had no job at that time, and he did accept to work to Spain. But to do that, he had already maps from maybe he did stolen some maps from the Portuguese. So he already knew, somehow there was a way to go around. But of course, he had to find it himself, But yeah, you already knew that maybe it's possible to go just around because they couldn't navigate the coastline of Africa. Those were Portuguese waters. So, they have to figure out another way to go around to India to get the same spices there. Yeah, so the guy did found, Earth is round. You can go around. So circumnavigation, going around. It's in the definition of circumnavigation, going
Well,
around something.
I have something to read it. I've read this before, but never on Nathan's show. This is regarding the circumnavigation of Fernando Magellan. It says here, the fleet reached the Pacific by the end of November 1520. Based on the incomplete understanding of the world geography at the time, Magellan expected a short journey to Asia, perhaps taking as little as 3 to 4 days. In fact, the Pacific crossing took 3 months and 20 days. The long journey exhausted the supplies of food and water, and 30 men died, mostly to scurvy. Magellan himself died lately. So he is describing here on his journey that the understanding of the geography at the time didn't correspond to reality. So the crossing of the Pacific was greater than the model itself. I think it's a great statement over there. This was the circumnavigation.
What did he
Is it-
estimate it at? I missed the estimation.
3 to 4 days. It took them almost 4 months.
He was a little off, no?
A little off, yes.
Hey George, or anyone else, if you guys know, how is Amerigo Vespucci tied into the whole thing? Like, what was he credited for? Why is his name important? I remember learning about
Never
him.
heard of it.
Never heard of it. We learned back in the day in my school, in my country, that that's how America got its name. That he was Italian sailor, but I never kind of understood what. Like
His name was something Americo?
Yeah, Amerigo Vespucci.
Yeah, okay.
Italian
He was on the
sailor.
ship.
Go ahead,
I
Neil.
do.
He was on the ship,
What was
and he
that, Neil?
said, "We're gonna name it this place America."
I remember
Americo.
learning that. I remember learning that back in, way back in my country. Like, America got its name from Amerigo Vespucci. So it was never clear to me about how Christopher Columbus died into discovery of America, or if anybody is familiar or knows this type of information.
Yeah, I knew about that. That guy. Don't remember his first name, but Americo. It was his last name, surname. Americo. Yeah, that's what I remember.
Huh.
So
You guys never heard of this name?
yeah,
heard the name.
Americo, mainly Americo.
Yeah,
Talking about
it rings a
Yes, we
bell
heard
now.
of it, and us Italians are proud.
America is a Italian name.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I remember learning
they
that.
took
So
the
how's,
Christopher Columbus. They took the Christopher Columbus Day Parade away from us in New
Yeah.
York.
It wasn't Italian, that's why.
He was Italian, right? So
Colum-
did he?
No, it was not Italian, that's why.
Oh, okay.
He
did,
sailed for Spain.
Christopher
This is the
Columbus was
story.
Portuguese.
Yeah, he did learn to navigate with the Portuguese, and there was a how you say journalista, how you say newspaper guy,
Yeah, journalist.
journalist. So he did research, and he did found many texts, and he was like it was a mix between Portuguese and Spanish, and so he did found maybe it's from original from Portugal.
Hey, not to change the subject, but Mighty Mush, who was that clown last night? And that was very good how you took him to his own height to shove the
So
point in his
we're not
face.
sure if
But who
he's
was that dude that was claiming science changes?
Yeah, we were talking about that in the pre-show for a while. We're not actually sure if he's a troll or not, but he's definitely, his scientific acumen is not all that. And he came to the server about a month ago, claims to be a FE, and I don't know what to tell you, man. He was claiming a lot of things. He was talking to Globers in the Globers chat, and he was claiming a lot of things that we would never claim. So that's why I invited him to a voice chat. He said something like we should do the real experiment and find out if the sun is going over the south and north pole at the same time. And that kind of, rang a bell in my head. I'm like, wait a second, you're a flat earther and you're telling me about, first of all, you don't know what experiment is or anything about science, and now you're telling me there's two south poles. So I just invited him to a voice chat. And what happened, you saw what happened, man.
Yeah,
It's
Jin tried to save him. That's what happened. Jin came in and felt pity for him, and the guy was probably a BSer.
I think
That's
so
what
too,
happened.
but we're not sure. Yeah.
Jin was like, "Oh, you're taking it too hard on him." It's like, "We're not. He's not taking it hard enough on him."
He did it first, and then after a time, Jim was like, "These are learned people here. What are you doing?" And at that point,
this is later, Nathan. When you were
this is
gone.
later. Oh, my bad. It's a different guy then.
Yeah. No, it's the same. It's a different guy. Yeah, different guy. This is later when you were gone. This other guy came in, and he was spouting out a load of nonsense. He was using the word globe fairly often, actually, to refer to the Earth. But it could be just a larp, or it could be just a general idiot, because
I was wondering
He,
if you guys heard that. Quite like a couple of times he mentioned there's flat earthers all around the globe.
Hmm.
I was like,
yeah,
wait
yeah.
a second, what is this? Is he trolling or?
It's propaganda
Yeah.
from
He could be,
the Flat
he
Earth
could be an
Society.
idiot. It could be a troll or an idiot. What's the difference? Trolls are idiots anyway.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
what's the
Yeah,
difference?
but these are the people
Jin was trying to
representing
save
us in
them.
the other platform.
Jin,
These are the people
right?
representing us on the other platforms. These are the guys who go to Nicktoons and I don't
Yeah.
know, man. It's painful. It's painful.
It's next
Just to
level,
think
man.
that these people can represent us.
It's a recent thing. LARPers. They don't want to be a flat earther, but they want to pretend to be a flat earther and then have the ability to say, I'm only messing around, because they haven't got a clue. It's like literally they're trying it on for size.
Yeah, I think there's a certain amount of people out there who just can't be anti-flat earthers anymore or at all, but they just won't allow themselves to be just pure flat earthers. Do you know what I mean? They can't allow it to happen. They just still they can't be anti-flat earthers either at all or anymore. Maybe they were and can't be. They can't continue it, but they don't want to just be a flat earther. That's why they'll push flat earth stuff, but then attack people who are like on attack this group, for instance. Why would, you know what I mean? They'll do stuff like that, or come out with rubbish that's completely opposing stuff we say.
Do you know,
And it's purely go on.
I was going to say the first to do it was Alex Stein.
I remember that name for some reason.
He came on here, he used to hang around with Jaren, but you'd listen to him and he wouldn't have a clue. And he'd spout stuff that seemed like he was a globe head. And he would be in a sort of frame that made it seem like he was a flat earther that didn't know what he was talking about. And when he came here, he very quickly found he didn't know any of the arguments and just took the position of a glober almost immediately because he didn't know what else to do and got swiftly dealt with. But he struck me as what we now describe as a LARPer.
Prime 99.
Well,
Liam, go ahead.
That was his name. So that was his name. Prime 99, Alex Stein. Remember him?
You're asking Brian, right?
Yeah.
I remember the name, but that's all I remember. Then again, I suppose if someone is forgetful, I'll forget them. You know what I mean? It's like if someone is not in the ad, then they don't make an impact, so they're completely forgettable. You only recognize them in the moment, and then after that, it's like they don't exist. You know.
But anyway, he was the original LARPer.
But last night, Jin, I had to just leave. I couldn't be dealing with the guy anyway. But Jin was like, "No, we're being too hard on him." And I was like, "Jin, we're not. This guy is either a clown or a BSer, one or the other, and he needs to be told." And Jin was there saving his bacon. It's like, Jin, why are you saving this guy's bacon? This is the guy you should know, since you've been in it since 2015, you should know, when you come across a clown or a pretender or a BSer, you control it. I mean, you can't take it easy on them. Like, no, he was, no, leave him talk. Leave him talk. What would he have to say? Nothing. He couldn't even give the first step of the scientific method. And
Brian,
I don't have to give it to you. Go on, Neil.
He would have a lot to say. He would say science changes.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. He was coming out with total rubbish. He couldn't even give us the first step of the scientific method. He said, because I said, you don't know it. And he was like, how do you know I don't know it? I don't have to give it to you. No, this is absolute rubbish. And Jin was trying to support him. It's like, Jin, won't you stop trying to help the enemy? Because I don't care if he's a BS or troll or if he's just an idiot. He's the enemy, as far as I'm concerned. Because an idiot and a troll are the same enemy, according from my point of view. I see him the same.
Well, we have Quattro in the house.
Oh, that's the guy, yeah. A major bozo.
Oh, he's in the house this morning? Were you here to cause more of a ruckus?
I thought he was doing some
Plants,
big science thing on a stage today. I thought he was doing some big important thing today.
Nah, they're sent here to cause, a rumpus, a disturbance.
He very calmly keeps speaking through everything you're saying. Just keeps waffling on with waffle.
Just for your information,
It's okay.
We're starting
He's
half an
here
hour
to
later
learn.
today. Just so you know.
Sorry, Nathan?
We're starting half an hour later live, just in case you're like, why haven't you started?
All right. Oh, well, we probably, yeah. Okay.
But this is still being recorded, and people will hear this, and they will hear that guy's a clown.
No, I wasn't recording. I wasn't here.
Yeah, but you're here now, Nathan. Recording now.
Now, Nathan, now.
Do it now.
Well, it's okay. The guy doesn't know what science is.
I thought he was doing a big science presentation today in front of a load of health workers or some nonsense. He knows all about it. It's this changing thing. Lawyer.
Brian, it's like the guys that claim that they were pilots, right?
Yeah, don't give him any time of day. You wouldn't even want them on to be recorded or on your show, Nathan. Don't give him any time of day. If he wants to chime in somewhere, then that's on him. But don't go looking for his attention, because that's what these idiots want. He's either a complete and total and utter super idiot, which is the problem with the world, or he's a troll, which makes him a total and utter idiot, which is also the problem with the world. So he is the problem with the world. People like him, they're the problem. They're in the way of everything and all progress, those people. Getting on George's back about being in their paradigm, but then us talking in their paradigm. Was that you?
It was a joke, yeah. I hope you didn't take that too seriously.
Right, but just so the audience knows, in case they didn't spot the joke, because I didn't spot it, I thought you were being serious, is that what we were saying to George is that we're talking about don't end up debating within their paradigm, as you can do, unbeknownst to you. Little things can bring you into that position, right? We were going to say, not that George doesn't know that. George already knows that. So I don't mean that's in a condescending way. I'm just saying we were just saying that. But when we were speaking about, a general relativity, etc., like you can chat away about that stuff amongst ourselves all we want. But the only point we were making is that the audiences don't debate within that paradigm. You can know it, and it's good to know it if people do bring it up in debates, but don't end up within the heliocentric paradigm debating, because then you're losing without realizing it. That's all we were saying. But that doesn't mean you can't, amongst yourselves, talk about it. That's fine, because you're not debating anyone.
Fair enough.
Shout out to Jardo for
Talking
the
about
super
me
chat.
now.
Says, sorry, I've been working flat out and studying, been missing. I'm back now, but have had a few bones to pick and questions to ask, says Jardo. Sounds ominous. Thank you for the super chat. You got some questions,
Brian,
Jardo?
what are you talking about, me?
No, Jardo.
Hold on. I like how he butted it up with
Oh, I
buying
see. Sorry.
some memberships, but I'm not there.
Oh, well. Never mind, Neil. Go on then, Jardo. What you got? He's not quick to get off mute and tell us what his bones he's got to pick are. You there, Jardo? Jardo's in the panel and super chatting. No, maybe we'll find out later. Someone have a link to Angel's video that we promised we would cover today. I know Liam put in one from Law Lodge. I don't really like covering Law Lodge. I don't know about you guys.
His debate with Whitsitt was hilarious. I mean, why you stopped that? That only got better as it went on. That was one debate that I really enjoyed watching with Whitsitt. He threw it off the show.
You obviously enjoyed it. I can't seem to find
Yeah, because he was
Angel's.
having an absolute implosion. A big baller implosion.
Okay, I think I found it.
That shows the aircraft was flying at the same altitude for 2 hours, flying 500 miles per hour with a positive pitch. As you can see, this orange line shows the positive pitch of the plane. That black line underneath it is 0 degrees. So you can see for 2 hours, the plane was at the same altitude and it maintained a positive pitch. So it flew 1,000-mile distance with a positive pitch over the Earth, meaning the nose of the plane was tilted up a few degrees. The reason the plane keeps a positive attitude is to maintain altitude and generate lift. Now, if you're flying around a globe, it would be impossible to have positive pitch over 2 hours over 1,000 miles distance and not gain altitude on a globe. You would have to correct for the curvature of the Earth by changing orientation of the plane relative to the curved surface. This pitch data directly shows the contrary. It didn't happen. Planes don't do this in reality, and I'm going to keep using this argument because it destroys the globe, as you're about.
Just one little critique. I don't know if Byron will agree with me. Do we need to start inserting what the globe should but does not do with this pitch data? I praised you yesterday, and I asked you a question that I don't want you to keep in the back of your mind to answer, but yesterday I was praising you, saying you can't fudge this into a globe. What's on screen now, the actual pitch data, cannot be fudged into a globe. End statement. Therefore, when I see someone go, well, on a globe you'd have to pitch down, in my mind, I'm like, how can I eradicate that from this argument? How can I present this on the front foot without even mentioning the globe? Does it need to be there, is my question, Brian.
No, you don't need to. No, I think Angel's added in stuff. He should have left the ballers try and walk around and then deal with it. The only thing you have to say, the only thing I would say is, for it shows from 8:05 in the morning to 10:05 in the morning, at no point did the plane pitch below horizontal. That's all you'd have to say. It shows there's the data. And then leave them scramble. And that's what I would do with experience. That's what I would do. I don't feel any need to. You don't have to. Maybe for newer people, but I mean, the maths are pretty simple. Their maths are very simple. It's an 8 inches per mile square drop situation, right? And they have a particular amount of curvature that has to happen over a certain from point A to point B. So I would have left Stingray and whoever else was there get all trip over themselves and come up with nonsense. Leave them off, and all that matters is that if it's flying with an above horizontal pitch, then it's not flying over any curve, anything, over 1,000 miles.
Well, that's the bit that I don't like. So I thought you were about to sort of affirm what I'd said and said, well, if you're flying with your nose above the horizontal that you're referencing and staying above the whole time, then you're flying over a flat Earth. End statement.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But I wouldn't have brought in, like I said at the end, curved anything. I wouldn't have even said that. I just would have used it purely as.
You just did.
Yeah, I did it too at the end there, but not in that situation.
Yeah, but now
you can watch the presentation if you want.
Yeah, but you've done it dedicated to air to contextualise it at the end, which you've ruined it.
Yeah,
Brian.
okay.
You've just ruined that.
I can't ruin it. I can't ruin it.
I'm only joking.
I'm the person. Yeah, like it can't be ruined.
No, I agree. It can't be. It can't be. But what you can do is give them at least the in for how their model fails as a segue. Which I'm being pedantic. I don't want that there. And if there's a way of saying we don't have to mention the globe, there's no need for this. Well, why? But, your opponent's going to mention it, aren't they?
It's very simple. It's very simple. Don't come at it from a position of debunking the globe. Come at it using it from a position of proving flat Earth.
Precisely. Now you're on my wavelength.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's more like it. This is something that I had to, yesterday with Brian, concede that while I know that it's a fantastic argument, elevation angles will never change. It's like gas pressure without a container is never going to suddenly not be a fantastic argument because it's not at the top of the list in the top 10 of arguments that we use or top 5 arguments that we use. Now, I suggested to Brian that this will be the new hotness. because it's undebunkable from the globe point of view. There's no globe in this on screen. Actually, that reminds me. I won't tell you what I'm asking, but those of you in the live audience now, right? There's 55 people. I haven't decided what live a couple of minutes ago, but tell me if you can see this. What I mean by that is, if you're on an iPad, pinch to zoom, have a look at the graph. Just tell me if it's clear. So from the chat, if you're on a computer, obviously, I don't know if you can pinch to zoom or make it bigger or whatever, but just make it full screen, have a look at it and see if there's enough detail retained in this image of this graph that you can read it at the resolution I'm recording and broadcasting and the quality that I'm recording and broadcasting. This is that moment where I've tuned the show in terms of quality so that at this moment, if someone wants to study this graph, they can see, read, it is clear. If they increase the size of it, it still retains its quality. Because if the answer's no, got blurry from Oxbow Spirit. Could be his TikTok video. I'm blaming that immediately. The reason I ask is I'm going to upgrade the internet connection tomorrow to gigabit, and potentially I can broadcast in 4K if I need to. I don't want to. I'm up against certain head limits in hardware terms, but I can overcome them if need be if it's not clear enough, which is the only thing I'm really concerned about. Cannot read the labels. Okay, I'll have a look at his, see if he's got a low-res TikTok video. But if that's the case and it is too blurry, then I might actually up the resolution as of tomorrow. But I'll check that it's not just the original material from his TikTok video that's blurry as opposed to my broadcast. Anyway, maybe this wasn't a good example.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah?
That maybe if you link in your description from here on in, the link to where you get that PDF from, then anyone can just go and get the PDF and look at it.
Or alternatively, what I was going to do is... where's my bleeding iPad gone? Can't even do that. Right, I'm gonna step away for a second. I'm going to grab my iPad and we're going to put this on screen because we're doing it now. I know we're live, but this is the purpose. I can only really achieve this answer if I'm live. Give me a second. I'm going to go and find my iPad. Even my mic on like an idiot.
We'll pretend we can't hear you.
Image looks a little blurry to me.
This pitch data argument is another black swan argument.
Yes. Yeah, it's black swan, elevation angles, gas pressure without a container. These are the arguments that if I was so inclined and not looking at something else, I'd do a wistful top 5 with a top of the pop style voice over the top of it. But yes, it is one of those arguments that almost immediately after release you go, this is a best of the best argument. Anybody disagree?
Yeah, it's a black swan moment, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you come across the black swan, yeah, the same thing, same feeling.
Yeah, I totally agree. Exactly.
Black swan, although it does prove a flat Earth in a lot of ways, but the black swan's primary function was to debunk the globe. This proves it's flat. Two simple ways. One debunks the globe, the other proves it's flat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah, you can extrapolate out flatness afterwards, one step with the black swan. That you can make your conclusion about therefore not a globe or what other alternatives are there. Well, you can then move to the flatness. I found this photo. Let's just bring it up on screen so it is actually the one. I'll ask the same question again. So even better in a way because it's a photo that I've taken as a screen cap on my iPad, which is also very high resolution. So I would hope this is in at least a decent resolution to begin with. Then it's obviously on screen slightly smaller, but the full graph. So again, from the audience, pinch to zoom if you're on an iPad, make it full screen if you're on a computer, and just have a look. And can you actually make out the numbers, the detail of this graph? If you screenshotted it now to keep it, would it be of a sufficient quality for you to keep and represent to somebody else if you took this data off the screen right now at this size, at this resolution? Obviously, should have said this in the first place, the little cog at the bottom of your YouTube video needs to be tapped and you need to set it to the highest resolution that you possibly can. If you can get 4K, not 4K, 1440 60 frames per second, pick that first before you assess how good the quality is. Because if you've set your YouTube video to be in low quality, obviously it's not going to be super crisp. But set it to a high quality I know this is tedious. It's not the best stuff to do on a live stream. It's just I can only get this answer if we are live. And given that I'm going to change the internet tomorrow, I do want to know if it is worth going up to the next resolution if this isn't good enough. There we go. Not visible on a phone. Yeah, Steve, I don't care if you can see it on a phone. That's a totally different ball game. If you're on an iPad with a decent-sized screen or a computer or a tablet of, something that's sufficient to get a decent-sized picture, not a phone. If you're screen grabbing stuff off phones and using them for presentations, then so help you, not me. Anyway.
Oh, looks good to me, Nathan, FYI.
Oh, okay, so you've looked at it on this one now that I've put up from Skype. Mine.
Well, I'm looking on YouTube, and actually, so I just did the YouTube thing. I'll look on the Skype one also.
No, not on Skype. I just care what it looks like on YouTube. If you're saying
YouTube looks good.
Perfect. That's all I care about. Okay, I can stop boring everyone in the live stream. I'm really sorry about that, but it just means I won't up the resolution. It's not worth the hassle to go up another resolution. Good. That saves me a job. Wonderful. Okay, Brian, sorry. Right, we'll click on. Angels is probably fuming, thinking, did you literally do a resolution test in the middle of my bit? Yeah, I did, yeah.
We're about to see. You can see here, very, very, very basic. If this plane was flying over a curved surface, it would have to change orientation relative to the ground to keep up with the curvature of the Earth. But all pilots admit they do not need to nose down. They do not need to adjust the curvature, simply because the curvature is not there. The FAA...
The airplanes have lift, which is a change in level. So why is he bringing his sphere? A change in level, nothing to do with sphere.
Trains pilots to assume a flat, non-rotating Earth and to ignore a gravity vector, even in the simulations that they use, because the Earth is flat and non-rotating. Here are several clips of pilots I've debated that admit they don't adjust for curvature and don't need to nose down.
How often do you have to adjust for the curvature of the Earth?
You don't have to adjust.
You maintain the same altitude around a...
I'd have played that several times. How often do you have to adjust for the curvature of the Earth? We don't. Welcome to Flat Earth.
Hello. Is this line curved?
The line curves because we're taking into consideration the curvature of the Earth.
Sorry, you don't take into consideration the curvature of the Earth. That's why we're putting pitch data up, you dumbass. Who is that guy? Why is he so stupid? Oh, somebody wants to join. Hold on 1 second.
Sit down.
We do not need to nose down at all.
Does the aircraft ever need to dip its nose down to account for curvature?
No.
As you can see, a bit of inconsistencies.
Inconsistencies? If it doesn't nose down and doesn't account for curvature, it doesn't nose down and isn't accounting for curvature. Okay, well, that's it. Welcome to Flat Earth. We already know. We don't need them to affirm it. It just means that this is one of the few... I'm slightly gobsmacked. This is one of the few times. What can they do? Concede or say, yeah, it's still a globe. We just don't account for curvature. It's still a globe. We just don't nose down around the curve. We do fly flat, but that's because we're readjusting what flat is to make it curvy. None of these arguments are going to work. Ever. The data is clear. It is flat because Earth is flat. There's no ambiguity here. And there won't ever be any ambiguity here. There'll be delusionary Dunning-Kruger deflector shields at full power. That's it. That's what we're seeing here.
Yeah,
I debated Stingray.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Give me a second. One of the things that Angel said there before he went into playing those clips is he says they ignore the gravity vector, or they don't include any gravity vector. He doesn't need to say those kind of things. A gravity vector is purely based around the globe. It has nothing to do with anything. Trevor Austin, the commercial pilot that is dealing with me the most, because Wolfie's not around. Wolfie's smart enough to not be around, right? Or he just doesn't have the backbone. Point is that what Trevor Austin has been saying to me is, well, you need to get G data, and the G data would have to match up to determine whether it's flying over. You know what I mean?
No
For you to
worries,
claim
hold on,
it's
no
moving
worries.
a flat
This is
Earth.
what they fly with.
Yeah.
Can you show me the G data on this graph, please, Brian?
You see, I can't. See, this is the thing. When he's saying G data, he's looking. So what he's trying to say, and he's brought this up 2, if not 3 times in comments to me. What he's trying to say is that you haven't begged the question of our paradigm yet. So until you beg the question of our paradigm, then you will see it's a globe. So when I use globe data, that will turn it into a globe. That's basically the argument. That's all they have.
Sorry, Brian.
I mean,
Sorry,
G
Brian. I
data.
need to ring that bell
Go on,
again.
yeah.
I need to ring that drum again. I'm sorry. How do you have lift? What is lift?
Lift is an effect. It brings the plane up.
Yeah, but lifting from what? From where? What's the reference from lifting from?
From sea level, describing the elevation.
Sea level.
So there you go. That's what the pitch data tells you. You cannot have lift a difference in level on a sphere.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm only talking about what the Trevor Austin, the commercial pilot, what his response to it was. The only thing he's got is that we don't have sensitive G data. Why would we be looking at sensitive G data?
What see
G
it? Sorry,
data.
I've got to do it again. So where's that on this graph? And what instrument is?
That's his point. He said it doesn't have the G data. That's what. So the thing that he needs.
Oh, so really? We should be contacting the commercial airlines and telling them, where's your G data? Are the NTSB not interested in that when they study crashes? Oh, they're not. They don't account for it. There's no G meter on the plane. Nothing's putting it on a graph, and they're not studying it if there's an emergency or a forced landing or, heaven forbid, a fatal crash. They don't study it. It's not there. It's not on the graph. What is on the graph? Their nose with respect to horizontal. It's slightly above it. That's what's there. That's what they use. This is it. There isn't anything else. So if you're going to say, well, it needs the G data, does it? Sorry, go tell whichever airline this is. Which airline is this?
I think it was American Airlines.
Go tell American Airlines. I couldn't give a crap what you say they haven't got. They are American Airlines. This is what they supply if they have a crash to the NTSB. You're telling me that it should be there but isn't according to you, you fundy zealot. That's your rebuttal?
Yeah, the G data that he's coming up with is globe data, right? So we have to somehow, for some reason, according to this guy, we have to scour through globe data that doesn't exist in reality. The data is not real. It's not a globe, as pitch data proves. So the disproving of the pitch data, which proves the Earth to be a flat plane, is G data that would be completely contradictory to what the pitch data is showing. Because G data would require the plane to be pitching down below horizontal continually. Do you know what I mean? It's shocking. I suppose to beg the question with you and completely contradict the actual data. That's your rebuttal as a commercial pilot.
Steve Smith, you've told me not to do, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's appropriate and it's not before the presentation. If you beg the question with them, we've done this. I know you always strap on the planes moving, but I just like to phrase it in the simple terms of what the gyro would be doing. I know the gyro cage is attached to the plane when I make this description, and Brian typically straps it on at the end, right? For them to beg this question, what they need from the gyro, the principle they're exploiting of a gyro, would no longer apply. The it's rotating fixed in space bit must no longer apply for them to beg this question. That is to say, that plane of reference established with the gyroscope changes. And as it changes, the cage follows it. Now, this is where Brian adds on. Yeah, that means the plane's moving around the gyro as it moves to the point where you don't notice anything. And that not noticing anything isn't logged. It's okay. So we must assume that it changes its base principle to beg your question of a globe. Oh, I'm not going to do that. No.
Exactly. The stupid thing is that when I showed the implications of that craziness in my response video to the responses that people like Trevor Austin were giving me to the pitch data, I showed how it's so bad, it's so crazy. Not only did they have to claim that the gyro is fluid in space, not rigid in space, right, but they have to then claim that the plane is somehow psychically connected to the gyro. So if the gyro changes its orientation, that the plane then automatically, somehow magically, changes its orientation in tandem with the gyro, as if the gyro is controlling the plane. All that gyro does is create a horizontal plane of reference for pitch. That's all it does. That's your zero on your attitude indicator, right? If that gyro malfunctions during flight, right, that doesn't mean that the plane malfunctions. Do you know what I mean? The plane is still flying with the same pitch it had that we were set to. So if the gyro decides to start dipping down, the plane, that will only show as an increase in pitch, not the plane following the gyro, if you were to go by the zero. It's so crazy. You have to deny the whole existence of gyroscopes.
I was about to get that.
And basically claim that. Go on, yeah.
You know, I was just going to say your conclusion, it needs the graph up, and I'm muttering while I'm off mute accidentally. Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to put the pitch data up. It's not on there. What Brian's now going through is their mentality to disregard, violate, ignore what's on screen now. It is not on there because it does not happen. Them saying, I must assume that a line that is going to be investigated in case of death, it's that serious, isn't really straight, because a line that isn't on there with G data not showing you a change because it would be net change 0 means that we're on a globe. It is not on the graph. It is not what is used. What is on the graph demonstrates Earth is unequivocally flat. There's no way around this. But it's fun to go through it, right, Brian? We said we wouldn't. About 10 days ago, we were on a conversation. We're like, let's not do this on their behalf. I've told angels off for doing something on their behalf. And here we are going, this is the mental gymnastics that they've got to go through to try and square this circle. And at the end of the mental gymnastics, you can't even give off a perception that you've squared the circle. There's the graph! All I need to say is, where's that on the graph? It's not. Okay, this is life and death stuff. You'd think it'd be on there if it was important. And what are you suggesting would be on there? A net change of 0? Earth's flat. There's no way around this. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're fine. No. Well, all we're doing is pointing out the ridiculousness of what they have to go through to try and then claim it's a globe. They literally, what they're claiming is that horizontal continues to be horizontal, but you're also flying in a circle. That means horizontal is a circle. That's what they are actually claiming. And when I put that back to them, there was two things I put back to them. I put that back to them, and I put back to them. I just took what they were claiming and condensed it into. They're claiming horizontal changes its own orientation in relation to itself. That would be a slope rate of more than 0.
Yeah, AI did it yesterday, didn't he? He did it on QE show yesterday. And what did he get? It's like, if you're going to just describe a change, what will you describe the change from, Brian?
Horizontal.
So when you say horizontal changes, to describe a change, you'd require horizontal to be an axiom to describe the change from. So you're going to defy your axiom to describe a change from the axiom that bends, violating the axiom of horizontal, that you'll still need to describe the change from. Yeah, it's self-defeating. It's the snake eating its own tail.
Exactly. It completely defeats itself. But you can't change the horizontal away from horizontal. You need horizontal to determine a change from horizontal. So what they're claiming is
That was perfect. Yeah, they need horizontal to describe a change of horizontal from horizontal. Okie dokie. Yeah, you need a flat Earth to be bent. It isn't. It's just that simple. You need it to be, but it isn't.
Just more double speak nonsense. I mean, that's all they can do is double speak. We got bendizontal.
Yeah, horizontal's curved. That's the conclusion of the double speak for the opponent that has no way of referencing horizontal if they do that. And what we are looking at on screen is reference to horizontal. and it shows that the plane is nose above it for 2 hours. Earth's flat.
Well, the plane is above it basically for all the flight. There's only a few points where it will pitch down briefly, and it shows that when it does that, or when the pilot does that, there is also a change in altitude, or pitch up, and there is a change in altitude. But for those 2 hours, the pitch doesn't change. That's the one thing about that 2 hours. So it's not as if there's something different happens in the rest of the flight. It's just a changing of altitude. Why is the plane constantly at that constant pitch above zero for those 2 hours? Because the altitude didn't change for those 2 hours. You know,
Shout out to Crockett. He says,
about this.
hold on one second. He says, Brian is ace. He's my favourite with a heart, says Crockett from the Super Chat. Thank you very much, Crockett.
Yeah, he's my favourite.
Yeah, for now, because he's got the best argument in the books, and it's literally just come out. How could Brian not be anyone's favourite? Brian is ace. He's right. Let's be honest.
Thank you. I just one last thing I want to say on it. I don't want to keep stall the video too much. Is that what they're saying is crazy, or opposition, and it's so crazy that the ordinary everyday person who would normally be your normie glober wouldn't be able to accept that. Your normal everyday person would not be able to accept the craziness that these people are coming out with. So they're reaching a point where their craziness will completely segregate them, if you understand what I mean. Because nobody would be able to accept that kind of crazy nonsense, because that's beyond normal, what the normal common sense could deal with, if you understand. You know, they can mess around with gravity arguments and different things, but in this, you can't change horizontal from horizontal. Can't be done. It can't be a slope away from horizontal.
This is also
beyond their,
go ahead,
beyond their
Liam.
suspension of disbelief.
Again, Duncan.
Oh, it's beyond their suspension of disbelief.
Exactly.
Well, it's beyond the comprehension of their doublespeak for a third party, is what Brian's saying. He's saying it typically, if you take, say, refraction, one word response, if you're unclear about what the black swan is as an argument, and you're being told that bendy cranes is an overcome to the argument, and you don't realise it's not even addressing the argument, you might take on board what an anti-flat earther gives you in response without knowing the argument, right? So they just bark refraction. We had it for years. This is different. When you hear somebody say, well, horizontal must be bent, that doesn't sit nicely with anybody. Doesn't matter if you've got a globe belief. The doublespeak doesn't come out correctly. It doesn't come out in a way that can be digested by the person being told it. And there is no way to square this circle. You've got a flat line or a flat graph. What are you going to do? Tell us it should be bent. That's their only response. It's never going to sit well. Right, Brian? If you're telling some third party as an anti-flat earther that horizontal's bent, that's not going to sit well, is it?
No, how can it? Because your ordinary everyday person, as Duncan said, can't suspend their reality to that degree. Can't do that. All the globers can do is two things. They can start trying to change the word horizontal to level, right? Which won't work anyway, but don't let them do it. Stick with horizontal. Because level, they try to equivocate between a distance from the centre of a globe and no point higher or lower than the other. So they equivocate between a spirit level and the centre of a globe distance, BS, right? But with horizontal, they can't do that. The only other thing they can do, and I predict this might happen, is they will ban the pitch data in debates.
So Duncan used an interesting term. He says it stops them from being, I don't know if he said stops them, but said something like that, leaves them incapable of suspending disbelief or something to that effect, which has actually got a term. We've discussed it on the show previously. It's called alienation. And the guy who directed quite a few Star Trek Next Generation and appeared in those shows was the guy who termed this and turned it into a book. And what is alienation? Well, you have to understand the term that Duncan used, suspension of disbelief. If you're going to a play or watching a movie, you, as the audience member, want to suspend disbelief about what is being presented. So when you see Superman fly around the globe on the silver screen, you accept temporarily that that is possible to occur. Now, if what is presented on screen doesn't suspend disbelief, that is to say, you don't believe that that could be happening in the moment, you don't say, yeah, I believe that Superman could fly around the globe, then you have been alienated from what is the outcome that is desirable, which is for you as the audience to suspend disbelief. Now, why do I explain all this? The globe has the exact same effect. There is no globe, there is no space, we're not flying around the sun. We're on a flat plane, under containment. That's the world we actually experience. That's how it's measured, that's how it's navigated, and in this instance, that's how it's flown upon. Now, when you have that as your suspension of disbelief, you are a normal globe believer, not anti-flat earther. There will be certain things that might not take you out of that belief when they don't make sense. So, as a same example, you as an individual know men cannot fly. But when you see Superman doing it, you accept that because he is from Krypton and on an alien planet, that's Earth, he can fly. Therefore, it's okay to accept what is happening on the screen. Yeah? Now, if they didn't tell you he's from Krypton and he just suddenly woke up one day and could fly, you would not suspend disbelief. You wouldn't, it didn't matter if the images are the same, that piece of plot stops you from suspending disbelief. What do you mean he just started flying one day? People don't just start flying. Then it ruins that moment. Now, typically, arguments that we have don't necessarily alienate a normie from their suspension of globe disbelief, accepting that there's a place above their head that gas isn't filling with men flying around. Like Superman, surprisingly. All ties together nicely at the end of the example. But this is different. You can't suspend disbelief when you show someone how we actually utilize the surface of Earth and navigate across it. There's no, oh, but that's okay because horizontal bending. No, that doesn't work in this example. It's not like, oh, well, because of refraction, Earth curves bending up where it shouldn't be, it should be down. So that kind of makes sense. I can continue to suspend my disbelief of being on a globe for today. We used to call it pain relief for the anti-flat earthers. But in this case, this could be presented to your average Joe, normal globe believer, and it suddenly snaps them out of it. Oh, okay. So where's the globe bit? As they stutter and stammer their way about asking these questions that have no answers. So this could be that little piece of top quality flat earth debate. Notice I'm taking the credit for us unilaterally. This flat earth debate argument that you, like sky vacuums, can put in front of a normie with confidence that it's actually going to snap them out of it. It might actually alienate them from their religion. So I really like this argument, and it's not even been out that long. It's also early. Typically, these arguments come about once a year, right? Maybe once every 2 years. Well, it's only been less than a year since we started saying, no, front foot forward, we're measuring Earth flat, let's point that out in all respects. And mainly we've used the elevation angle as the predominant part of that front foot forward idea. Now we've got this. This is awesome. And early. So perhaps it's, I don't know, maybe too early to call.
Topping it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe the frequency will increase. Maybe we'll get another fantastic argument in 6 months instead of in 2 years or a year.
But it's not an argument, it's a fact.
What did you call it? Alienation?
Alienation is a Stephen Berkoff term.
Well, I just said it's a closed-ended question. Did you call it alienation?
Yes.
Well, maybe you can now dovetail it with your New World shtick.
That you hate. No, it's a Stephen Berkoff term. It's a performing arts term.
Yes, when the narrative is no longer true to itself, that's when the suspension of disbelief stops. For example, saying a flat line is now curved.
So I got marked down on a performance once when I was being assessed. So it was important that I got a high grade and got marked down for it because I got alienation written on the critique. And it was because I was too close to the audience. So I'm performing to them, and I'm maybe 1 or 2 steps too close. And I spoke to the director, and I'm like, what do you mean alienation? He's like, you're too close to the audience. You being that close to them, where they can pretty much smell your dirty breath, is going to remove them from the suspension of disbelief because you're in their space too much. You needed to be 2 or 3 steps further back so that they could look on upon you rather than you being in their space. He says sometimes that works. It's just when you're doing a Shakespeare play, it don't. You needed to be further back. And I was like, you blocked it. I was moaning at the director. He's like, no, you were 2 steps too further forward. You were off your mark. You look on the stage and there's a little mark. I was 2 steps off it. So I got marked down because it took the audience out of the moment. This is one of those things. You're just a little bit too in their face with the flat earth information. It's a little bit too real with pitch data.
Well, I just want to make a correction, if you don't mind, and I don't mean this as a critique on you, because you just speak. I don't want to be coming across as if I'm trying to critique you all day, every day.
Bullshit.
Because that wouldn't be fair. But it's not an argument. It's just a fact.
I did hear that, and I should have not sidestepped that. Brian, at the end of me pointing it out, said this is a brilliant argument. End quote me. It's not an argument. These are just statements of fact. It's not. That's why I started off with Angel saying, why has he juxtaposed it with how the globe wouldn't work? It's not needed. This is not a debatable point. These are statements of fact. It's not, let's argue about it. No. There's not an argument to be had here. You slap it on the desk, and then you stare at them. That's it. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Let's put it back on screen. I think we should. It's only appropriate. Yeah, this is an epic argument. And make note in your diary. You know, for me, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
I obviously I already know it's a good argument. Obviously, been promoting it as such. But there is always a moment where you go, oh, no, this is a lot more important than I first thought. I always recognised that it was a good argument. But no, this is something much more special. And it was yesterday during QE's show when Brian said there's no getting around this with a globe convoluted double-speaky garbage argument in response. There's no one-word parrot of refraction. There's not going to be anything like that for this. And when Brian said it yesterday, I'm like, you know what? He's right. This is potentially a better argument to start with than elevation angles. It's quicker. It's simpler. And in the case of my hypothetical example, you don't even have to say anything. You put this on screen down in front of that's it. Earth's flat. There you go. Bang, bosh, done.
It's a death blow.
Well, it's an actual measurement that you have there on screen. So there's a flat Earth measurement as well as it being just a fact. Like that thing about it, it can't. The reason it's not an argument is because it can't be argued with. If it can't be argued with, then it's not an argument. It's just a fact. It's like nobody can deny the internals of a triangle is 180 degrees, kind of thing. But it's even more cut and dry than that, you know, because they even try to convolute that. That's what's so good about it.
This is exactly the kind of argument that should have came, or evidence, I guess, should have came from the elevation profile on Google Earth also.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So back in 2015, when we were exposing the elevation profile, we were pointing out how the deviation from the horizontal worked in the Earth curve maths. Later, when we reassessed it, we're like, we don't need to actually reference how Earth curve uses horizontal as a plane of reference to make an Earth with a curve below surface level. We just need the elevation profile data itself. Just the profile proves Earth's flat. What is the elevation profile? It shows how high or low the land is with respect to a horizontal plane of reference in Google Earth Professional version. You're like, okay, so the entirety of Earth's flat according to this graph. Don't need anything else. It shows what Earth is in terms of how it's measured and how high or low the land is above a 0 point. What does that mean? It means there's a 0 point. It means there's a flat reference. It's the same as the pitch data in that regard. And what's the pitch data referencing? The 0 point and how high or low a pitch you are above or with respect to that horizontal plane. It's the same thing. Everything measures Earth flat. There will be no exceptions. Do you have a bit more of his video as we've all gone a little bit silent?
And I told him I got pitch data that shows the plane had a positive pitch for 2 hours for a 1,000-mile distance, and I wanted him to put a plane on his globe and fly around it without dipping the nose. And this is what happened. Yeah, if you have a globe and you want to draw a line at the same altitude around that globe all the way around it, do you have to curve the line to draw it?
Do I have to curve a line to draw a line around a globe?
At an equal altitude, yeah. Do you have to?
From an external reference point, yes.
Perfect. Let's put the diagram back up on screen. No, not according to this, you don't. And this is life or death stuff. So...
Great. Well, that's not how the plane flies.
This is so funny. Sorry, Nathan. If the Earth was a globe and they don't pitch it down, what would end up happening is the plane would eventually end up flying backwards over the globe.
Okay.
Because it would turn around on itself if they never adjust the pitch to fly around the globe.
I don't know about that, but fine.
Yeah, what's trying to be explained is that if you were flying from London to Perth, the distance around the globe would be so much that by the time you get to Perth, you didn't change your pitch. Let's just say there was no change of pitch, technically it'd end up upside down.
Yeah,
hypothetically.
Yeah. So it's if you just change in elevation, you'll eventually the plane will be pointing away from the globe. Like I made a video on that too. But anyway.
Oh my God. So here we go. Here we go. So can you see this?
Yeah, I can see that.
That's the ground, and that's going around a globe.
Yeah. It's not moving.
Awesome.
It's not moving.
It absolutely is. You can see the original camera tilting, which is looking from space.
So it's nosing down around the globe. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if get this, if you say that following the surface of the Earth is nosing down, for the sake of that argument, absolutely it's nosing down.
Beautiful. Let's just bring up the pitch data for Stingray. No. No. Just no.
Yeah.
This is another one of those moments. Bosh! Put it on the desk and just stare at them. Really?
Bosh.
Get terminated.
For the sake of this argument.
Yeah, well, the plane
it's
doesn't
absolutely
do that.
nosing down,
Well, the plane
but
doesn't
it's
do that.
doing...
Oh, he said it again. Oh, I get to do it again. How wonderful. No, Stingray. Bosh! No. It's not nosing down, Dumbo. Earth's flat.
Stingray is I've debated him a few times on TikTok, argue with him for hours with that guy. He's really hard to get through. Like, he's so staunch in his little graphic and design and ball world. Like, no matter what you show him, he's really, really, it's a brick wall.
Yeah, he's stubborn and belligerent. Yeah, we know.
This. Yeah, it does this.
Well, the plane doesn't do that in reality. Welcome to Flat Earth. How often do you have to adjust for the curvature of the Earth?
You don't have to adjust.
We take
it down.
We do not need to nose down at all.
Yeah. And as opposed to where the argument would be concluded with their concession, here's the data to prove it. Bosh. No, you don't. Earth's flat. End of argument. I hope the audience is picking up on just how effective this is. Kudos, by the way.
Death blow to the globe.
I should really share your... I don't know how to do that. What do I do to share on TikTok? What button do I press? I could just get it from your the link that you sent in Master
Do you want
B.
me to...
No, it's okay. I think I've got the link still from Master B. Somewhere in here.
Does the aircraft ever need to dip its nose down to account for curvature?
No. The plane does do this.
No, it doesn't.
So the attitude of the aircraft. Wait a minute. Rocket. The attitude of the aircraft here, Angels, is remaining consistent with the ground as the fucking thing travels around the surface of the Earth.
Yeah,
and I'm going to save this now.
Yeah, swear at us, bitch. Yeah, get angry. Yeah. It doesn't nose down. Your diagrammatical example of a plane moving around an Earth would. It doesn't. We can prove it. It's used by the NTSB. There is no way around this. It must, but does not nose down.
As an example, so thank you for that.
Yep, so welcome to Flat Earth, because that's not how planes fly. And every pilot I've debated admits this, that don't account for curvature. Like you're showing now, they don't do this. They don't do that.
Want me to show the map of how a plane flies? I will happily take.
Was that a white knight piping up? Shocking.
Yeah, let's see the map on how a plane flies. You betcha. I want to see that shit right now.
That's a nice little white knight move right there. Meanwhile, I'll put a link.
Math.
Is this your TikTok, presumably, Angels, right? The links come from your TikTok. This is your TikTok video, correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So please let Angels, who's currently on the panel talking to us, know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that lets him know that you've come from this show, and there's 103 of you watching live right now. Go and subscribe, give him some love, give him a heart, whatever it is that you do on TikTok. But as we're covering his video, it'd be only reasonable to actually do the same we do for absolutely everybody else, and suggest that you actually let the guy know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And hopefully, Angels, you'd do the same for us if you made a video about us.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Julio. Right, there's only a minute or so left. So
No, I want you to put me on the big screen so I can show you the pitch
No.
data.
You don't want to see the maths and physics behind it.
No, I want to show you the pitch
You just
data.
want to say nuh-uh to things and say partial numbers.
You guys are saying nuh-uh. Put me on the biggest box. Put me on the big box.
Wait. Angels, I've got a question for you then, if you don't mind, about the...
Sorry, you got a question rather than your acceptance of the devastating defeat you just faced. Why would you be asking him a question? I don't really understand why you'd be doing that, you absolute coward. That makes no sense. You just lost. But I've got a question for you. Away. Well, yeah, because the guy in control of the questions is the guy in control of the discussion. Now, you just lost, Dean. Retaining control of this discussion won't really help you. You just had your ass handed to you.
The globe Earth.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, have you done my sundial test?
So now we're running away again, are we?
Well, okay, fine.
That's the one with the full moon.
Yeah.
Right, Brian's chuckling at the... what's it called? Obfuscation tactic.
Yes. Yeah, have you done my sundial test? It's like it's a complete red herring away from the pitch data. And I just said, is that the one with the full moon? You know, bad moon shadow.
Oh, right, yeah, of course. Sorry, I didn't catch that bit. Yes, indeedy. But so what you're doing is taking his red herring and turning it into a flat earth proofie who wants it after the fact. I'd be furious. No, mate, no. So at the point that you lose, what you do is turn into an abject coward and start changing the subject. Wow. Okay, Dean. Yeah, we already knew the cut of your jib, didn't we? We've spoken to you before.
By the way, he freaked like before I started recording his live, because this is his live that I'm on, so I don't have control apart from putting things on my box like images. I said to him, I go, I have this pitch data. Put me on the big box, and he wouldn't do it. I'm like, you're scared to do it because you know I'm about to destroy you. Because I told him another time I went on his live, I had all of his minions making fun of me, like 8-on-1, you know, like really, you know, giggling at me, laughing, whatever, right? And I said to him, I dealt with you 1.5 hours. I sat through that. Now it's time I destroy you. So now put me on the big box, and he wouldn't do it. He did not put that pitch dart on the big box.
Oh, well, it's fine by me. I put it up on our stream, so, you know, the audience got it there with us laughing at the fact that you can bosh it down on the table. We didn't know that you hadn't been given the opportunity, so you boshed it down the table, and because he ran the stream on his neutral platform, he didn't want to put the data up. Oh, how nice of you to attend this neutral platform when they didn't want to put the data up. Well, that's very interesting, isn't it?
Would you put the data up?
Oh, I did, Neil.
Yellowstone coward. Nothing has changed much over the years. Ask him if he got that Nobel Peace Prize in science yet. Friggin' glue sniffer.
Angels, what you'll find on TikTok is that there's a lot of people, big names in the globe side on TikTok, who started out on YouTube and they got their asses handed to them and that's why they're not on YouTube anymore. They're over on TikTok, where there's people who are new into flat Earth, as opposed to people who've been in flat Earth for years, and they're over there trying to take advantage of all the people who are new. Now that includes.
Brian, you've muted yourself, or I've lost sound.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can now.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, I was just saying that on TikTok, there's a lot of the bigger globe names on TikTok were originally big globe
got all
names
that.
on YouTube.
We only missed 2-3 seconds of you.
all that.
All right, then I'll shut up then.
No, and then you said including, and that's when you went away.
All right, I'm saying, that they look to take advantage of all the new people who are flat earthers on TikTok and attack them, which is basically low-hanging fruit. But they try to do the same thing with you, but you're a cut above the rest, and you're taking advantage of them.
Yeah, 100%. You're right, because this guy, a Stingray dude, he puts up Lake Pontchartrain on the screen, and then there's people like flat earthers that are like on TikTok that, you know, have been a flat earth for 1 month, and they go up and he shows them that, and they believe it. Right? They get completely tricked by his model and all the stuff he puts on. It's ridiculous. And you're right. Yeah, he's just a coward. You should have seen. I wish I recorded more, because I stumped him. Like I just said point blank to him, "I'm gonna destroy you. I've got pitch data that proves the Earth is flat. You're always asking people to come up for proof. Here it is. Put me on the big box." And he would just.
And
would
he
not
didn't do it.
And I told him that.
He didn't
I told
do
him
it.
that. I said, "You're scared to do it."
This is their neutral platforms that they want us on. Nah, what you want is the ability to withhold information that destroys you, like Dean did. Now me, when a baller comes here, I clear the airwaves. All of my triggered zealot counterparts that you assume we are, I shut them all up. They all moan at me for it, and you get to make your claim unimpeded. Then it gets torn to shreds. Nathan mutes. No, I don't. What does Dean do? He obfuscates, he's red herring away from the argument, he doesn't concede, and he won't put the evidence on screen. Shocking, isn't it? Yeah, project your pain, Globers. It's pathetic. My doors are open daily. Feel free to join Flat Earth debate. Maybe I'll get an invitation to go to Antarctica on the open door show that we run daily, that anybody can come and talk to me personally on. Maybe we'll see that. Maybe it'll actually happen. Or maybe we'll just have lying glurf scum pretending they've done things that they haven't to prop up their fraud. In this case, Dean, with his globe fraud, telling you how on his model nose down is what must happen. No, it doesn't. And the data that disproved it didn't get presented on that stream now, did it? What a shock. These aren't neutral platforms. Next time you hear that term, neutral platform, know what it really means when a globehead says it. It means biased platform. That's what it means. Come on, our biased platform. Make no mistake.
Some more doublespeak. What a surprise.
You going to talk to him again, Angels?
Who?
I don't think he'll let me on anymore.
Oh, okay.
I destroyed him that bad with this. Like, I don't think he's going to let me on.
When you say, will I talk to him, did you mean, will Angels talk to him again?
No, I said Angels. Are you going to talk to Dean again? That's what I said.
I thought you said Nathan. Sorry. Misheard you.
Sorry.
He kind of did that to me too, Angels. A couple years back when I was debating with him, I was telling him about how we built the 2.5 mile people over, and he couldn't accept that. I'm like, dude, we never accounted for curvature 2.5 miles in LAX. He could not, and he got destroyed. And he didn't really let me come back after that.
Yeah, like by the way, he doesn't let Nathan Thompson on. He's locked him on 2 accounts. He doesn't even let him on at all to debate Nathan.
Why? The reason?
He knows it's okay. It's like he said before. If it's true that he started off on YouTube and you guys destroyed him, well, he's there just to, have fun with people that are new. He doesn't actually have any good arguments. Nathan will destroy him, and he knows that.
I haven't seen Nathan Thompson in a while. He typically, when he gets here and says hi, he's normally well acquainted with everything we're talking about from memory. Am I wrong in that? Nathan,
Yeah, he's knowledgeable. Yeah, he actually
Angel.
Nathan. Yeah.
Sorry, you know Lake Pontchartrain? In the background of that photograph or that layered image, there is over the other shore, there is an inferior mirage. Inferior mirages cannot happen without a surface, which means that you're seeing all the way to the other side. You present that to them, and they have absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Also, I showed Stingray an aerial view of Lake Pontchartrain, and then he's like, "Oh, let me just zoom out on my model and change the focal length, and look, it looks flat."
Yeah, but he can't argue with this. This is like, it's literally proving it's literally proving a flat plane. It's proving flat out across that. When you point that out, there's nothing he can do. I made videos about it. There was nothing. They had nothing. They can't. Inferior mirage can only happen one way. You don't see inferior mirage up on the side of cliffs. You don't see it on any airplanes. You see it when there is a surface. That's the only way it can happen. So if you're seeing inferior mirage, that means there's a surface there. A physical surface.
Which means you're seeing,
and this is one second. This is after the claim. What they're trying to claim after, like when you look at the photograph, what they're claiming to be curvature, the inferior mirage is after that point, further in the distance, which means what they're seeing is sinking, and the inferior mirage proves that it's only sinking, and proves that not that we need that, but I'm just saying as an argument against it, the inferior mirage proves that all their claims are wrong, and that it actually proves a flat plane.
Lake Pontchartrain is flat.
The mathematics on it. CQE, because he did the mathematics on it, and he showed that what they're claiming is a globe out of 50 miles in circumference.
Planet New Orleans
that's
Parish.
The other thing. Yeah, that's the other hilarious thing, dude, is they think that's the actual curvature rate of the Earth. Are these guys insane?
Doesn't matter. They're not seeking actual measurements. They're seeking confirmation bias. Looks curvy to me. Good enough.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, Chocolate. Just in time for me to round out. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G-Pals. But if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming streams, stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
There is in Master B. It's whether Nathan could be asked or not.
What is
it? Did he close out? I'm sorry, I just sat down. I left for a couple minutes. He closed out the show?
Live show, yeah.
Communist.
Why?
Racist.
Racist, yeah.
I don't know. He waited for me to say hi. That was like, hey, goodbye.
Your name Brian, too?
My name's Brian.
Eli.
So is my wife.
I was just thinking out loud. I woke up this morning. You know all the GoFundMe's these retards get going?
Yes.
You know, for the goal for all of them is $40,000, by the way. What happens? Let's say they get like $12,000 by December and it's not enough. What happens to the money?
I don't know.
It goes down south, right to their pockets.
Oh, this is a genuine, proper scam, isn't it?
They're saying, what, make the target too high and then keep the money that doesn't achieve whatever.
Yes.
No, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be issues with that based on YouTube's terms of service. Just in terms of setting out a GoFundMe, if you've got a goal to achieve and that's what that fund is intended, why do you think everyone asks me when I do a GoFundMe? They're like, I want to see the receipt for the graphics card. Well, I never provide them because I know that the people who know I've bought it, and I don't need to prove it to anybody who's in my chat comments. But if there was a legitimate concern that you were raising money and just not buying the thing you said you had, then you could be in a lot of trouble because that's defrauding people out of money, isn't it?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so if they don't get it, what should happen is that they should just refund every single person that gave them money because they didn't achieve their target and therefore couldn't do the thing that the person who's given them the money to do it intended it to be spent on. So they just have to refund everybody.
Yeah, it just
Or put
depends
a
on how
NASA
you set
logo.
up the GoFundMe, because there's two ways you can do it. One is where you can withdraw the money as it builds up to the goal, or you could have it the GoFundMe. They'll hold everyone's transactions, and then once it hits the goal, and you actually say, okay, it hit the goal, like release the funds, then everybody will get charged, however that their card that they use to make the donation. So it just depends how they set it up. But typically, people do it where you can pull the money while it builds up. So I don't know how they did it, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. So by pure coincidence, Math Powerland about 5 or 6 years ago did a GoFundMe campaign to do an Antarctic expedition. And he talked about it on one little crappy live stream and then didn't publicise it at all. So I went to the effort of digging it out, and at the time, and still to this day, if people do GoFundMe campaigns like that, I tend to be the first in line to give them some money. All right, I hope you achieve your ends. I wouldn't want to go. Here's $20. So in that instance, I did. I gave Math Powerland $20 on his Antarctic fund, and he had some absolutely exorbitant amount that he was trying to achieve, like $1 million. But I'm like, no, I want to show support, and I want to be the first on the list. So I was the first on the list and gave him $20. About 6 months later, I got a refund. That is to say, it left my account, went into that GoFundMe, and then later got refunded. So they held my funds, presumably in escrow or whatever they would call it, until such a time as the campaign was achieved. And then because it wasn't, I just got an automatic refund from GoFundMe of $20.
Okay. I was unaware of that. Maybe they got it set up like that. We're going to have to confirm that with these retards.
Absolutely. I think this should be heavily scrutinized. Absolutely.
They made it sound like, apparently, this is what they made it sound like. Whoever doesn't reach their goal, then Will Duffy's just gonna fill in the gap or whatever. But this one John Bolton or whatever, like 2 days ago or yesterday, put up the money for Lisbeth, like the full trip, like 35,000, and then they raised like $6,500. And they're like, well, that's good because that will cover her like flight to get there, and then the clothes you got to wear.
Hold on. Hold on. So it's not 15 grand as the estate travel agent charges. It's 30. Why? For the extra flights, the connections, and
35.
the hotels. But then it's not 35. It's 40 because of the extra flights and the connections and the hotels and the equipment. Okay.
Exactly.
So why is it 45 on some people's GoFundMes? Oh, well, because of the extra equipment that we'll need and maybe the travelling connections and the hotels. Okay.
But it's not really 45, it's 50 now.
I'm sorry. I haven't been exactly keeping up to date with the flat Earth debate.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Who's doing GoFundMes? Like, what's going on? Does this have to do with Antarctica and shit? Or what?
Oh, God.
Well, no, the problem is, let me just explain it as quickly as I can. What happened was this Ugandan guy got in touch with me and told me that I'd won the lottery. So I went to the Lamborghini dealership, secured the funds by a loan because I thought I was going to be getting this 10 million Ugandan dollars. Then I went on YouTube and told everybody that I was going to be giving away the Lamborghini with a golden ticket. I ran a competition to give away the Lamborghini, and when it came to actually get the Lamborghini, I hadn't actually secured the funds. The Ugandan guy wasn't going to be giving me 10 million. So I ended up with a bit of egg on my face, but I just put it down to the fact that this absolutely outrageous Ugandan guy called Dave was scamming me. And just very embarrassing. I'm not the first to have had it happen to me, but there is no Lamborghini. The rate limiting step of actually securing the funds wasn't achieved. It was nothing to do with me not having enough due diligence. I just, got scammed, and therefore there's no Lamborghini. But now I've set up a GoFundMe, and I'll hopefully raise the funds for the winner of the Lamborghini that I never secured the funds on. We all clear?
Oh, yeah, that checks out.
Go watch the last 3 shows on my channel, and you'll be all caught up.
Copy that.
Right, I've got a couple of options. I can either round out now, or do a couple of admin things, which means I can't watch you guys temporarily, and I can leave it recording and trust you guys to actually make sure there's no swearing. Which would you prefer? Shall I just round out and start again, maybe with a members-only stream in a couple of hours? Not that what I'm doing is going to take me more than 20 minutes, probably.
What about the Law Lodge video?
Well, we'll do that tomorrow.
Why are you looking to run all the time?
I've just got a lot on, Neil. Got a lot of personal shit going on at the moment. I'm sorry.
You didn't hear he's got a Lamborghini he's trying to secure.
Yeah, so you've got it, Neil. There is a lot of admin. Look, shall I round out the stream or leave you guys in charge? Or will Brian just say, well, you want me to run your show, do you? Well, yeah, actually, for 20 minutes to an hour, maybe. Make a choice. I'll do the ticking clock.
Leave it running.
Leave it running.
I can share. Leave it running. I can share my show with Chocolate. We can watch the first show again to get him up to speed a little bit. Anyway,
fine. Do what you like. I'll leave it recording then. If you do anything egregious, I can still hear you, but I just don't want to end phone calls and things because you're doing something you shouldn't.
Not doing anything egregious. As far as
Just
you know.
swearing on your show.
Hey, one thing about that trip in the fine print, if they don't get enough people to go, then ALE can cancel on them. So that's probably what's going to end up happening. Probably it's in the fine print. Like they say, like if there's not enough people, everyone gets a refund minus the $1,000 processing fee of their deposit of $5,000. So it still might not happen, guys. It just depends if they can get a full flight or whatever, which is probably why they're trying to get so many people to go. I don't know. There's also the possibility of. Oh.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's also the possibility if something happens to where like they say, oh, there's an outbreak or there's a disease and no one could travel right now, kind of like what they did 4 years ago, shut everything down. That could also not let them go. There's a lot of excuses that they have in the fine print. I was thinking they're going to get wind of like all these people trying to do a flat earth test or whatever. And I was thinking they might not even accept that, like, because then that's, considered doing research and stuff. And that's a whole other different permit you have to pull. So I don't even know if they'll allow that. But they have in the fine print, any reason whatsoever, they can cancel it. And I just thought that was probably going to be the main thing once it gets around to once it continues to grow and more people. Candace Owens talking about it and stuff. They might just be like, no, we don't want that. Just shut it down. We'll see.
You guys aren't going to get to see this again in Discord, though.
See what?
You guys aren't going to get to see this video in Discord.
Oh.
You hear chocolate?
No, I don't hear chocolate.
No, not you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, he says, no, I don't hear chocolate.
I thought you said, do you hear chocolate? I was like, no, I don't hear chocolate. Sorry.
All right, I'm gonna start this. Chocolate, you tell me if you can hear it. How about that? Good?
Yep.
Because that's all we need is for him to hear it, not anyone else. Here we go.
Sniffing baltards who are feebly attempting to cast the.
So, do you hear that, Chocolate?
Yes, I can hear that.
All right, here we go.
Shangri-La.
All right, let's do another fiver. Here we go.
Gentlemen, welcome to Dumb.
Here we go, Chocolate.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dumbfuck Shangri-La, where we have bumbling blunders by booger-eating, bum-sniffing baltards who are feebly attempting to cast a negative light on flat Earth by wheeling out non-flat earthers for public display charades. That's what we're in for today. With a twist. Here we go.
Hey, everybody. Glad to see everyone.
Oh, boy.
Let's see here. I am very excited to introduce everyone that's following the final experiment.
No, the final excrement. This isn't an experiment. Now, this has been explained to you a number of times, and you're a demonstrated fraud for it. I don't know if any lawyers are out there. I'm not a lawyer. I'll tell you what, I'd be a kick-ass prosecutor. I'll tell you that. But if any lawyers catch whiff of this, I mean, this is a slam dunk. And that's coming up. I mean, even right here, it's over. But there's something coming up that has a little more cowbell for that. So if you know any lawyers and they want to have a little bit of fun, stay tuned. So this is the final excrement. Yeah, you guys are well aware of this. Watch this.
To people who applied for, put an entry in for the golden ticket.
So we have the golden shower ticket. What's happened here 2 days ago? I guess it happened more than that, back about a week, 10 days ago. I don't know. Whatever. It appears that somebody has offered to pay for a ticket to the final excrement wrapped in and affirming the consequent formological fallacy down to Antarctica. So I guess Will Duffy, the dozy duffer here, and his staff, you know, the bugger-eating schmuck, McBugger Eater, MC Bugger Eater, sci-fi scam and tight to fight Girth or whatever the hell he is, got together and put out this application process for a willing, quote unquote, flat earther to have a free trip to Antarctica. Right? So they had to submit their applications to this glue sniffer right here. And unaware and unwittingly, whoever put in an application for the final excrement, you unwittingly, ipso facto, exposed yourself as a non-flat earther, as a pretender clown. That's it. It's just that's just it. He's going to use you as a pawn and a puppet for this charade. But you were unawares of that because you're not flat earthers. Let's deal with this topic right now. So, and I brought it up with the last treatment because they were characterizing the two groups, these idiots, right? And Candace was categorizing the two groups as flat earthers versus globetards, when in fact, as I demonstrated, the actual groups are true earthers versus globetards, right? Now, let's distinguish what a flat earther is and isn't. A flat earther is somebody who knows without a doubt, absolute certainty, that the earth is flat, period. A non-flat earther or a flat earth believer is somebody who accepts without evidence that the earth is flat. They just believe it or they think it's flat. Those are not flat earthers. There's an unfordable chasm between the two. Does everyone understand that? It's rhetorical. I can't look out there. Okay? So there's no misunderstanding. Does that make sense to you? If it doesn't, contact your slobber nurses and they might explain it to you. Let's continue.
I've enjoyed receiving these entries.
I bet you have.
Because I'm learning a lot about people, learning their story.
Learning their story so you can give them a golden shower. Now, they call it a golden ticket. I call it a golden shower because that's what he's going to do. He's going to piss down their backs and tell them it's raining. So it fits. But they're clueless of it. We're going to see the shining display. Just you wait.
They say that it's impossible to dislike someone when you know their story. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. I also want to say this, which is that this golden ticket
the golden shower ticket. Yeah, we know all about it.
Experience and offer.
Here it is, folks. Sorry about that. The golden shower ticket winner, and that was from 2 days ago. Just want to orient you. All right, you all caught up?
Has really re-energized me in the final experiment because
the final excrement. It's not an experiment. You've been told.
It gets a little bit hard to maintain your excitement when
you have the final excrement. Yeah, it's hard to get excited over excrement.
The flat Earth side.
No. Not flat Earth side. The true Earth side. Not flat Earth side. You haven't had any flat earthers. You haven't responded to any flat earthers. You haven't run them out. The disheveled non-flat earthers you've run out on your channel. No flat earthers that I've seen so far. None. Zero.
Is just constantly putting it down.
No, they're not putting it down. We're laughing at you. The flat earthers, the actual flat earthers, we're laughing at you. I don't know what the true Earth believers are doing. You care less.
Turning down offers for their trips to be paid for.
No one's who's turned down. Which flat earther has turned down an offer for this fiasco? Not me. The paterfamilias. No one has asked me personally to do anything. Not Nathan. No one has asked him personally to do anything. We're actual flat earthers, so that hasn't happened. Just so we're clear.
People who put in entries on the flat Earth side for the golden ticket.
Not the flat Earth side. They're not flat earthers, and I'm going to demonstrate that in spades.
Showed a lot of excitement.
I'm sure they did.
Thank you. So this has been, this has filled my cup for sure.
What, your piss cup?
Sure. Okay. Before we meet the finalists and make a decision here, I do want to say a couple of things. One is I don't have a second monitor. And so live streaming without a second monitor is not easy. So I'll do my best.
Duh.
First thing I'd like to say, I'm just reading off my notes here, is that we received entries from 5 continents.
That's amazing. 5 continents? You mean you use the internet to reach out to 5 continents? That's amazing. That's amazing. Honey, you know the internet? It's like worldwide now. He called the president. Bozo.
So 8 countries that span 5 continents. So that was very, very exciting. Obviously, this is being watched all over the world.
I told you this glue sniffer's got delusions of grandeur, man.
I also do want to say this, which is that unfortunately, over half of the entries did not follow the instructions.
Oh, no.
And I gave specific instructions for a reason, which is that when you go to a place like Antarctica, you have to be able to follow instructions.
From who? From you. I wouldn't trust you to get a loaf of bread, you clown.
Your life depends on it.
Oh, I'm
So-
sure. The death cell, right? This is a death cell sort of thing. What? You're a bozo.
That's some sort of.
It's a very, very harsh climate in that part of the
No.
world. But that's okay. Enough people did follow the instructions, and we're going to meet some of them.
Enough pawns did. Enough patsies. Enough tools did. I'm sure. Unwittingly displayed that they're pretender clowns.
Today. Now, I have to call out before we start 2 people specifically that made entries. And I want to apologize ahead of time for calling you out, but
So you're going to apologize to people that you're calling out for what? Why? Why are you calling them out? And why are you apologizing? This is just stupid.
I feel like I have no choice.
Well,
Each one of the
why don't you have a choice? You can't control yourself? You're an idiot.
these people did something that I think deserves to be stated.
What? Why?
And so the first one.
Why? They didn't follow instructions, period. So?
One is this guy right here. He made a video entry. And
wow, amazing. So he didn't follow your instructions.
And I clearly stated in the rules that you would need to make an email entry. And so this guy was
couldn't you put a video in an email with the entry?
was disqualified.
So, who cares? Why is he here? So what?
Right from the outset. I'm not even going to turn on his audio on this video here because if
why
you don't
would
follow
you
the rules,
even have him
you don't really deserve to
this I tell you what, this fucking mouse. I'm going to crush it. Why is he on here? Then why must you have him on here? He didn't follow instructions. Game over. Just why?
be heard. So you're the first one that
I see. Because he made sort of an idiot. What's that?
Like, what the hell am I listening to right now? First of all, is this clown just trying to ad hom people?
Yeah. Right now, in the beginning, he's just trying to portray flat earthers as
people who follow instructions. That's what he sounds like he's trying to do.
He's trying to poison the well a little bit. Ad hom, yeah, that's the type of ad hom. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. I'm so excited.
Is Nathan making coffee?
Yeah, he's doing some admin stuff.
Just get him to let us in when he at 5.
Again.
Adam wants to know if you get Nathan to let him in when he comes back.
How's he even talking?
I think he's
on Discord.
Oh, he's on Discord. He can't get in. I don't think you're allowed in anymore. Because of the incident yesterday, I think he's removed you.
The Tuesday incident.
Say again.
The Tuesday incident.
The Tuesday incident. Yes, I don't think he's allowed in anymore. Bye, Adam. Chocolate, you all caught up?
Well, I'm trying to assess what I'm hearing from this guy.
Okay. We're good for right now. Just continue. Out of himself falling over, right? That is that the motif you're going for here? Do you think that you're hidden in some way? That we can't see that? Oh, I know. You think you're just talking to your subscribers, right? The dumbass clowns that can't see this. Just to clue you, anyone that can fog a mirror knows where all this is at. Hello, McFly. You make me want to puke.
Now, the second one, man, I don't know why this rubbed me the wrong way, but...
Well, because you're a moron.
It did, and so I just want to make a quick note of it. So, Dan the Waterman.
I know that name. It's from a ways back, but I know that name. Okay, what'd he do?
If you're watching right now, your entry was interesting, to say the least.
So you must say it.
You and I have spoken once. I don't remember when. It was on one of the interviews I've done. But Dan the Waterman did make an entry, and he did follow the rules.
I thought you said that these two didn't follow the rules. But he did follow the rules. Okay.
But he asked for $10,000 on.
In addition, Dan the Waterman, yeah, asked for $10,000 in addition to the ticket down to this fiasco. Yeah, I agree. I like it. I like the cut of his jib. I would, if somebody would ask me, I mean, would you go to Antarctica? Yeah, $100,000 I would go. And the $30,000 ticket, I would definitely go. Yep, for sure. Yeah, to put up with an affirming the consequent formological fallacy wrapped inside a pseudoscientific non-experiment train wreck. Yep, $100,000. I'll do it.
I am.
Way to go, Dan.
Can I add something?
Top of.
Say again.
I just wanted to add something.
What?
That's about the price I put out. Mine was slightly higher. I discussed it with my wife. Now, obviously, the sell from his point of view is if you're unaware of whether or not it's flat or a globe, I've got a means to prove it either way. That's his pitch. Now, to me, the pitch is free ticket. Not that he's pitched it to me personally, but nevertheless, right? But I don't have any desire to settle this experiment that he's fraudulently punting by looking at the sun in Antarctica. It won't fulfill any desire for me in that regard. So then it just comes down to how much would I accept to do this? Now, don't get me wrong, it's more than $100,000, but I did literally discuss it with my wife. I'm like, how much would put you in a comfortable position so that were I to fall down a crevasse, were something to go dreadfully wrong, the boat sink, I get thrown over the side by McToon, how much would satisfy that as a value? Yeah, as a risk? And you go, yeah, it'd be in excess of $100,000 that I'd want in my pocket. Yeah, obviously I'd get taxed on it, but I'd want that in my back pocket before I even entertained it. At least.
Yep.
You let Adam in?
I'm going to go in now.
That was yesterday.
What, because he was a bit drunk and wouldn't let the guy say goodbye to us?
There was, it's being called the Tuesday incident.
Must have been serious if the incident's got a name.
Yeah, it's the incident. Here we go, chocolate. Adam, you're not allowed in here.
Of having his trip paid for to go to Antarctica.
Yeah.
And so that just seemed a little bit over the top for me.
Not over the top for me.
With the
Not for me at all. He didn't go high enough.
Expense of going to Antarctica and what it costs, that just seemed a little over the top. So I wanted to mention that.
Well,
okay.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. That had complete relevance to this golden shower ticket fiasco.
So here's how this is going to go. We are going to introduce the audience.
This is how this is going to go. You're going to make some really stupid statements, put up a bunch of non-flat earther pawns, and I'm going to rip your asshole through your throat. That's how it's going to go.
To some of the finalists, and they're not all here yet, so hopefully they will show up. But I want you guys to meet and to see and to hear from those who I have been communicating with.
Why? Just make the pick.
It sounds like a
Yeah,
game
we all know why. You're going to parade these. Oh, go ahead, Chocolate.
This sounds like a game show now. It's gotten to game show stats.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, you got it.
Crap. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
No, you're all over these pawns out, these non-flat earther pawns out here for your own ends. Duh. Get on with it.
And those who I have heard some of their story. And I'm going to explain why I chose them as a finalist. And you're going to get to hear from them. And then at the end, we're going to put everybody up on the screen. And we will take one away at a time until we are left with the golden.
Wait till you see that fiasco, folks.
Ticket winner. So here we go. Let's see here. I am going to do this alphabetically just to make it easy. And so the first person is Brian.
Brian's logic.
Brian
you on here?
All right, can we give up on this for now? Kiwi, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, well, I've done all my errands now. So, I mean, I just released our original discussion before you covered it on your Tuesday show. So, I'm glad you've been playing it now, but I'm pretty sure the Chocolate's got the idea, right?
Yeah. Can you see the first contestant?
I suppose so. I just know what's coming up with Brian's mic, but fine, I guess.
That's why you wanted to stop, because of Brian's mic. Just the first contestant, maybe a little bit of the second one, because that's my favorite, and then I'll stop it.
We'll do the first, the second, and then show the conclusion, and then we'll end this, because then at least it's, complete.
Clear. Oh, okay. I got you.
What Nathan is asking is, can we end this?
Yes,
No.
I understand.
No. QE got it right the first time. Let's just not do Brian. Let's just do your favorite and the conclusion. Then I'll be happy.
Can't stop it now when the game show's getting good, man. I want to know the finalists is like Wheel of Fortune or something.
Here we go. My word. Oh, we got Brian. Brains a leaking. The first contestant on Yes, I Am a Pretender Clown. You cut yourself shaving? Or are you slamming yourself in the face with a spade shovel? Unbelievable. Why am I not surprised you were on this finalist list? Pretender Clown. Grade A, ladies and gentlemen.
Brian, how are you?
Hey, man, how you doing, Will?
Great. You want to introduce yourself? Can you introduce yourself?
I heard you perfect before, and then you started robot. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, I just want you to introduce yourself.
Wow. Microphone check.
Microphone check. Dumbass.
Microphone check.
I can hear you. It's just a little broken
Oh,
up.
come on, just go to the next one. I'm
Now
not
you're
doing this
muted.
again. No, it's already making me squeeze the arms of my chair. Just spin on. Breathing easy again. I watch the scroll bar move along.
So,
Can you hear me?
I did back in 2016. It's on my website, theglobeterminator.com. It's all there.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Brian.
Bye. Clown.
Okay. Up next is Cassidy. Hey, Cassidy.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey, nice to meet you, Will.
Hey, Cassidy.
Yeah, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Cassidy. I'm actually from Southern Maryland, but I recently moved to New York State up by Lake Erie. So lots of potential for flat Earth tests. I'm a huge fan of that channel, Brian.
That's a -1, Cassidy.
And so
Cool.
thanks for having me.
Yes, yes. So the reason I chose you as a finalist is because of your story. You have a rocky past, which you don't have to go into details on. But
okay, so she is a finalist because she has a rocky past. Makes sense.
the thing that I loved about your story is that you had your daughter at 19, and that seemed to really change your life. So
so you're going to pull her away from her daughter and take her to Antarctica, right? For your fiasco. Like that, again, makes perfect sense.
Tell us a little bit more about you.
Yeah, okay. I definitely follow my heart. And my first real big experience with that was dropping out of college. And yeah, it's
Did you catch that? She dropped out of college. I'm sure you wanted her to say that. Somebody's at the door, folks. Hold on a second.
This
I actually sounds like Willy Wonka.
Got a surprise visit by my son who just returned from, ironically, college, which he didn't drop out of yet. And his girlfriend, and I have to sit here and go through this now, but he's not going to be there for a while. But this is dedication. Yeah. All right, let's rewind a little bit here. We can get back.
Can I say something?
Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, Brian.
Go Irish.
If you keep on showing Cassidy and keep playing Cassidy, you're going to get in trouble at home. It's becoming too obvious that you're the thing for Cassidy.
of college. And yeah, it's been rough, but definitely grown a lot along the way. And I'm always searching for truth and trying to learn and just be a good role model and build a good future and world for my daughter.
All right, listen, I'm going to have mercy here. You know, just not a cold bastard. Obviously, she's a sweetheart, right? She's just not a flat earther. She believes the earth is flat, like she said, like more or less that she just said. Okay? And that's it. That's all I want to demonstrate. She's not a flat earther. She believes and thinks the earth is flat, and that's fine. So I'm not here to expose and be harsh on all these guys. Obviously, unwittingly, she's unaware of it. Okay? That's not lost on me.
So
Awesome.
that's me homeschooling her now. So everything is coming together.
Cool. And you have her blessing to go?
Yes, she officially gave me her blessing and wants me to go. And she is a bit of a flat earther. She's not totally, I don't try to convince her of anything, but she's kind of a flat earther. So she's on my team.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for applying. I really did enjoy reading your story, and just it was a story of survival. So
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That means a lot.
You're not going to believe this, but my damn doorbell just rang again.
Yeah, no worries. I can waffle while you leave it on pause. Just go and get your door. So I'm fortunate, right? I'm in a similar position, right? I've got a couple of kids here, but I don't have to overtly tell them anything about the world. I'll teach them heliocentrism, as will my wife, with the teaching materials that we get from the home ed resource site that we use. And if it's part of a lesson, we'll teach them it. But I don't have to go out of my way to tell my kids, that Earth's flat. I don't do that. I never sit them down and go, just so you know, Clover, Earth's flat. I don't feel the need to do that. Now, I would assume that they overhear some of the show. They're on the other side of a door. They're not, that's the hallway, but you know what I'm getting at, metaphorically speaking. I'm sure they hear parts of the show. Like I said yesterday, one of them asked me what a fungus muncher was. But my point is that I don't have to... They haven't got to listen for very long to what we discuss here to know the score. And we aren't ambiguous about what we discuss. We're not talking about vague, Ethereum garbage that has no context for a 5 or an 8-year-old. Especially the 8-year-old. She can comprehend what we talk about because we talk about it in fairly simplistic terms. Not ambiguous terms that are difficult to decipher. Straight to the point terms that are easy to understand. To the point where I know my 8-year-old will appreciate what the world is and appreciate the serious nature of stating it. That's something I do. You can't just start questioning people's religions. You can't just start telling people they're wrong. That's not reasonable. You won't be liked in society if you do that. Everyone's entitled to their belief. That's what I teach them.
Hey, Nathan.
Yes.
Nathan,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt you. I'll be gone for about 10 minutes, so please continue on.
You'll be gone for about 10 minutes.
Just before you go.
Just turn your screen share off. Just start the screen. Hold on, Brian. Admin. Just turn your screen share off temporarily then, and then when you get back, we'll pick it back up. I'll put mine back on. I'll pin it for now.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Thanks. Julio.
Okay.
You can. I didn't give you or deny you permission because you're responding to a recording. So QE just has to pause it, and then, if he starts talking, it gets even more confusing. So now that that's stopped, obviously we can just have a normal conversation without assuming we're going to press play at any moment. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, it was to QE. He was trying to say something. I think he's gone though.
Well, that's no bad thing. Let's be honest. Oh, well, jolly good. We can sit here in silence instead. I'll just reiterate the point I just made. I don't have to go out of my way to tell my kids Earth's flat. I don't see the need to do that. I do see the need to discourage them, if they've overheard what I do, from questioning other people's faith. It's not their place to do it. It's rude, and they won't be liked if they do it. So I tell them to be concerned about that if they ask me about the subject, which they do. And I'll say, look, this is not the view of the majority of the people in this country. And it's not your place to tell them they're wrong. Because it isn't. I genuinely believe that when I tell them that.
The funny part about that is that nobody would have to run around and tell anybody that it's flat if we didn't have this bombarding notion that we're actually living on a ball. That wasn't being asserted to us for our entire lives. We wouldn't have to run around and tell people, hey, it's flat. People would just accept it. Like the way we measure it and use it, see it. It would just be that simple.
Exactly. We never think we're on a ball.
Maybe we should organise a trip and call it the final measurement, and then just take a sector of us and go and measure a latitude measurement from sea level and say, there you go, it's done.
Done daily. It doesn't need to be done by us. It's an accepted principle that made the maps in the first place. There is no
Obviously, there's a need. People, you know what I gathered yesterday, and it was very depressing. People are not paying attention to us, and it's freaking sad.
No, that's wrong. We've got a very dedicated community of people that do pay attention to us, and those who pay attention recognise instantly the value of what we offer, Neil. Now, you're saying that there's people who
I'm
come
not
and have a
talking about the
cursory
people
glance.
that do pay
My bad.
attention. Not talking about our little clique here. Talking about when you go outside of it, people just ain't getting it.
Love it. So I point out that
Well-
I have actually built up a community. You just demean it to outside of our little clique. Well, no, it's not a little clique, and I'm not going to allow you to demean it in that way when I watch it grow.
I'm not demeaning it. Are you missing what I'm saying? You
Come on,
weren't
you're
there.
attacking
You
Neil
left.
unjustly here. He's trying to make a point, for God's sake.
Not talking about us. When you left yesterday and QE left, me and Brian had to listen to such nonsense. And like, you can't just get the fact that it's measured flat. Like, outside of us, we're not getting it.
Maybe they don't watch. They tune in for 10 seconds and do what we do. They sit in the chat, they have a chat in the chat, they see some fundy, they respond to him, get annoyed and disappear. And have they listened to the show? Have they actually sat and paid attention to what we're talking? Maybe not. But yeah, there's going to be people like that, Neil.
Well, as I was saying earlier at the start of the show, I listened to a little bit of Globebusters from Sunday, and they were talking about ether, right? And they were going into general relativity, another nonsense thing. But the thing is that they spent about half an hour going through things. And if you didn't know any better, you would think that these people know science inside out. Everything they're saying sounds all sciencey. This is so in-depth. These people, like, they're so intelligent. Right? This is what you would think if you were naive, if you were ignorant. Right? But because I'm not ignorant, I could spot that whole half an hour of nonsense and waffle and garble they were going on with had no connection whatsoever to 3D reality. There was no observable natural phenomenon that they could give that had anything to do with that half an hour rubbish. Not one. And I think that's people don't understand the importance of learning about scientific method and about what natural science is. They just don't understand the importance of it. They think, because they don't know, I know it's an old story, but they don't know what science is. And they listen to who they think are flat earthers, like Whitsitt and them, who are waffling on about pseudoscience and nonsense, trying to force an ether paradigm right, in to push general relativity out, and you're back to square one. Right? If they don't know any different, they just think, wow, these people really know what they're talking about. And I knew that they, not only when I was listening to them, they didn't know what they were talking about because I was hearing things that were wrong. And they were contradicting themselves and things they had said in the past. But I knew there wasn't any connection whatsoever to what they were saying and 3D reality. Not zero. Not one natural phenomenon could you pull out of it. And that's a major problem. Because people think they're coming across flat earthers when they're coming across Whitsitt. They think, oh, Whitsitt is brilliant. It just kills all the globers. He just bamboozles the globers. And he tries to bamboozle everyone else as well. That's what he does. He's good at bamboozling people.
And this is what bothers me. I'm not decrying anything you put together, Nathan. You did a lot of work, and this community is ace, and the people that are here know what's happening. I'm just saying, outside, like, we're not reaching enough, or they close their ears to it and they rather listen to the fantasies of Whitsitt. I don't know, but it gets frustrating.
You're gonna die if you just allow that frustration to get to you. Just have to accept that there are people that will not accept it, and that's that.
Crawford, you had a guy come in last night saying science changes.
That what?
Science changes.
What was his point to that?
Who the hell knows? He's supposed to be doing major experiments today.
Let him say what he's gonna say. People are gonna say what they're gonna say, man.
Yeah, but like you and I, when corrected, you receive it. right? And you're like, oh, I did not know that. This is great. Not this cat.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. There's some people who just don't want to have the conversation, who are just not willing to do it. And what are you going to do? Can't force them to do it. People are going to see, and it's not just with this conversation. People can only see something when they're ready to see it and hear it and accept it. Before that, you're just wasting your time. Feel me?
I feel you.
We're just trying to help them out of saying they have a belief that Earth is flat. Trying to educate them that they could have more than a belief, they could know. And it seems like they don't want to know.
As I said last night, the most frustrating part for that for me, well, I wasn't even frustrated. I just knew it was going nowhere. Was that he drew in other flat earthers to help him. Now I don't even know if he's a flat earther, but he drew in flat earthers to help him because Jin came in trying to help him, trying to say we were being too harsh on him and this, that, and the other thing. When we weren't, it was like harsh is what is needed. He's what's wrong with the world, and like when you have people who, as far as I'm concerned, should know better, literally getting in your way of basically exposing someone for not only being wrong about what they're saying, but being unwilling to learn where they're wrong and being unwilling to be honest, because he wasn't willing to be honest. Even after you left, Neil, there was things he just wouldn't be honest about. He just wouldn't give a simple yes or no honest answer. You know what I mean? He just wasn't being honest. And Jane was helping him. It's just like, you meant nothing. Not that it really mattered at that point. He was a lost case anyway, but it's like, I said, Jane should know better. He's around since 2015. Why is he helping this bozo? I don't care if the guy is a troll or if the guy really is a flat earth believer, who doesn't know science, what natural science is. I don't care what it is. It's the same outcome. There's no point in trying to help these people. Some people only learn. Some people will learn the easy way, but everybody learns the hard way, and that's just the fact of life.
Hey,
no matter
Brian,
who you are, you learn the hard way. The easy way is not always the way for you. What?
Brian, remember when Mighty Mush asked him how tall he was? And he said, I'm 6 foot. He said, how do you know? He said, because I measured. And Mighty Mush had him. He said, exactly. This idiot turns around and says, well, when I get older, I'm not going to be 6 foot. So it's subject to change, like science. At that point, if I could reach through and grab him by the throat, I would.
No,
I think he was saying believing and knowing is the same. That's why I asked him how tall he is, and he said he's 6 foot tall. And I asked him, do you know that or do you believe that? He said, I measure it. And that's when I said, so we measured the earth flat. That's how we know it's flat.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
He was trying to say believing and knowing is the same.
He said believing and knowing is the same. But that's a little off.
He was flip flopping though, chocolate. He was flip flopping and saying that believing and knowing is different, and everyone's welcome to their beliefs. All this rubbish that it's all this red herrings away from him just admitting that he didn't know what science was. It was all basically he was trying to bombard us with rubbish. He was just an idiot, a total idiot. And then Jen started helping him. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I'm out of this.
Sorry.
I'm surprised at Jen. He knows the score.
Was this guy a blober?
He said he was a flat earther. And what convinced him was the 8 inches per mile squared. amongst other nonsense.
There is no 8 inches per mile squared. 8 inches per mile squared of what?
Well, that shows you where his argumentation is at.
It was
Not a flat
really
earther.
weird the way he was phrasing things. He definitely came off as a troll, man. Even a couple of times he mentioned, and I don't think a lot of people caught it. He said there's a lot of flat earthers around the globe.
Yeah, I
I
heard
don't
that.
think anyone caught that, but he said that a couple of times. I was just like, what the hell is this guy on about, man? But yeah, he didn't say missing curvature or miss 8 inches per mile square. He just said that's what convinced him. 8 inches per mile square. It was incomplete thought. Like, what about 8 inches per mile square? It was very confusing, man. He came off as a troll, definitely, to me.
Yeah,
Was
that
claiming.
little statement. That's a troll statement from a long time ago. I don't know where I heard it before, but that the flat
Yeah, for
earthers
sure.
all around the globe. I've heard that
Yep,
crap
you'll
before.
find those
Like
comments
10
all
years
over,
ago.
all over.
Nope. Sorry.
Chocolate
Yeah,
that came
100%.
about on the first conference they had, and they were saying that flat earthers all over the globe are coming to the conference. That was the ha ha ha.
Wow, got us there.
Or if the Earth was flat, the cats would push it off the edge already. And you'll find that comment on every FE video, and you're gonna find like hundreds of likes. That's why I'm thinking like it must be AI or bots or something, because people cannot be this retarded. It's impossible. I think it's a bots or AI or something doing this.
Oh
Because in
no,
2024 to be
people
making
can be
comments
this
like that
retarded.
still.
Nah, people can be this retarded. If there's one
Maybe.
thing I've learned is that
Right.
people definitely have the capability of being that retarded.
Yeah, you're right. You're probably
And
right.
you can't blame them because the propaganda is big, man. Low propaganda is all over the place. Remember that shit's existed before you were here, and that's literally all you've seen all your life. Some people can get over that, and some people can't. So
Yeah, and I think their biggest goal for that type of a propaganda is to influence other people's minds. You know what I mean? Like innocent onlookers, people who are just trying to pay attention to this topic. When you go to the comment section and you actually see how this type of information is received and how flat earthers get attacked for their position, like, you know what I mean? Like when you're a little younger, when you're a little weaker in your how you stand for yourself, like you're probably not gonna want to touch this topic when you see how flat earthers get treated. You know, and if you're not a free thinker, if you can't really think for yourself based on the comments and the amount of comments that are against flat earth, you're going to be completely discouraged to even not only talk about this topic, but even to look into it further when you see the implications of it. And that's why I think that that's their biggest propaganda goal, you know, to make this on the fringe like crazy topic that you better don't even look into it, because if you do, you're going to be ridiculed, you're going to be ostracized from society, and all this stuff that comes with it.
Well, it's not even that. It's that anyone that goes to even mention anything about it is swarmed by trolls and attacked. So people just are bullied away from it, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
that's his point, and I couldn't agree more. I think
Yeah, if
there
you're
are a
not a
lot of
free
people
thinker, and if
who
you're not, yeah, if you're not 100% confident in who you are and how you think and what's real and what's not real, you're gonna be, yeah, this is gonna scare you, man. Oh, I'm not gonna look like this is not for me. Let's talk about soccer. Let's talk about other things.
How can you go against the Vatican's teaching?
and that's just pretty sad, right? Especially when when you confront them like face to face, and it's like, wow, you're sensitive. You're very sensitive. Tell you the same thing mine tell me. I don't understand why this is a hard conversation. You know, you got to start with the default, man. You can't even start there. Then You're gonna allow somebody else to tell you what your senses is supposed to be telling you and what they're not? What? The same senses you use to navigate the world every day? Keep you alive? And somebody in the textbook says, "Oh no, you're not supposed to feel that movement." So you just go with that? Okay. You gotta let them be.
Yeah,
After that.
that's literally one of the comments, dude, that you'll see everywhere too. You can't trust your eyes. You can't trust your senses. They lie to you every day. There's literally comments out there, bro. That your senses lie to you every day. It's like, what, man? Like, what? Your your eyes lie to you. There's troll comments out there. Your eyes lie to you every day. What is that
Don't
supposed to mean,
trust
dude?
that bus that's coming that you see. Keep walking.
Yeah, right. You come to the cliff and there's an abyss. You're looking down like, oh, like you're not gonna stop. You're gonna keep going because you don't trust your eyes. You know, I just don't get it, man. It's bizarre how stupid some of these comments are.
Well, it's like Chocolate said, it's the propaganda they put out daily in the movies. Look at all of these the Avenger movies, Spider-Man movies, every single one of them about space-time and time travel. And the one Spider-Man, the one Spider-Man, I think the Amazing Spider-Man, when all three of them were together, he said, "Oh God, Einstein was right, string theory," and he rattles off a whole bunch of them. I mean, it's put in our faces every day.
I mean, it makes for a great story. It's just it's not real. You know, I can accept going to a movie and seeing something that I know is fake. It's a movie. That's okay. But when I turn around and think I'm living in the same world I just saw in the movie, that's a bit of a problem. That's where the problem is for me.
To me, the hardest thing to get about these things, like, what is it about globe and outer space that somehow gives these people comfort of living their life, and enclosed creation scares the shit out of them. You know what I mean? But being there, a possibility they can be hit by a meteor or whatever the heck else is they claim, flying through this infinite vacuum. You included, flying with this ball at
I'm going to answer
67,000
you.
miles an hour.
I'm going to tell you what it is.
Go ahead.
Closed creation means there's a creator, and you have to give an account for the life that you live.
Right, but what's so scary about that? Wouldn't you be more comfortable
not scary
knowing
to me,
you were created by an intelligent designer and like you live in an enclosed system, nothing can come crashing into you? How is that scary? Is my question.
Yeah, but some people don't. They have a lot of skeletons in a closet that they never got rid of, and that scares the life out of them. They'd rather believe in heliocentrism on other planets and life on other planets. That way, they don't have to answer to anybody. They're only lying to themselves. We know this. To believe in a flat Earth enclosed like we do, you know there's a creator.
But I don't even think you need to have a lot of skeletons in your closet, though. Even I'm not trying to go against you, Neil. I don't even think you need that. I think it's just people like the idea of there being. They're not all worried about there being a God, but they would like the idea of there being some alien races between us and God that removes us from direct accountability. If you understand what I mean. So the race that created us we're kind of more, they're more responsible for us, and the race that created them are more responsible for them. And somewhere back in the chain, you have God. You know, this kind of thing. And so
Yeah, see, but Brian,
it's easier.
that scares the life out of me. Being a science project for some alien teenager? Are you kidding me? That's more scary to me.
Yeah, for me it is as well. But I wouldn't say it's scary, but for me it doesn't make us. I just don't even. I don't even give it a whole lot of thought. But the point is that it's like it's easier to separate yourself from source, like God, and accountability there, when in your own mind you're only accountable to whatever race made you. And there is some race that was first made by God, and they're directly accountable to God, but you're not. So it removes the seriousness of the accountability, if you know what I mean.
I don't even really place the two together in that way. Like, I don't need to know Earth is flat to know that there's some sort of creator. Um, every time I open my eyes, I see creation. So there must be a creator.
Right? Like pretty much that which exists must have been created, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's in scripture, Chocolate, because it says nature declares his glory, so there's no excuse for anybody to deny creator.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that leap. I mean, I'm not denying that people do it with the accountability thing and all that. I kind of separate the two. I don't need to fear accountability. Like, I'm here to live a life. I'm live it the best way I can. That's all I can do with whatever the creator is and whatnot. I'll deal with that at some point. But I recognize that there is something there that has created everything that I see with my eyes, which happens to be creation as well. So yeah, I can't deny that.
Many people
But
can, and they don't like it. There was one guy not so long ago. He got over the initial shock of flat Earth. I told him enough, so he knew what he was getting into. He'd have to research and know his stuff. He can't just hand wave it. But what he didn't realise was the idea of a creator. So he texted me and asked me for evidence. So I just sent him QE's website. And then, of course, I never heard from him ever again. So you're all into it until you get the proof. And now suddenly I don't hear from you again. Countless people have done that.
it's like that sometimes, man. Sometimes I'll have a back and forth with somebody, and then when they get to that point when they realize that they're absolutely wrong, that back and forth stops. They're no longer interested. Now, some go the other way. Some now want to talk about it every day. I don't have to bring it up anymore. You know,
Yeah, like my son.
some will just drop off.
Chalk, the other day I had the show on. My son was in the car. I think we're talking about gas pressure without containment. He said, nobody's in the back losing his mind. Nobody's saying we don't have containment. We don't know how big the universe is. Of course we're contained. I said, no, Jacob, in your paradigm, there's a vacuum right above us. So you there's no containment in heliocentrism. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there's no containment claimed in heliocentrism. Absolutely not. The containment is the end of the universe that is constantly expanding. Kind of nonsense. It's a load of rubbish.
I do remember the transition of the globe side of when it was obviously gas pressure doesn't require a containment. So when some of them started saying, "Well, yeah, we're contained. Yeah, it's gravity. Yeah, then gravity is the container."
That's why I always use the term solid containment. I try my best to use that instead of just the word containment. Because
This guy the other day was going
can,
on about the universe is the container.
Yeah, my son.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The whole
Bacon claims
universe
that
is
too.
the container.
Yeah, Bacon claims that too. But then if the universe is container and if the universe is vacuum, that would imply that if we are in a pressurized system, the Earth would have to have its own container too. So that doesn't work either.
Yeah, but that's wrong.
Doesn't
The
work because they have a
vacuum of
vacuum
space is
right
still
above us.
expanding. Cannot be still expanding if it's contained.
Is the moon in the universe? Is the moon in the universe? Because I distinctly remember seeing somebody showing us pictures of people on the moon wearing a spacesuit. What was the purpose of the spacesuit if the universe is the container for the gas pressure?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They have a vacuum right above us.
no, all you have is a vacuum that is uncontained, which is a violation of the laws of thermodynamics. the fact that you have an uncontained vacuum. That's like, I think for a long time, like people focus on the gas pressure, but like, and all you need to focus on is the vacuum that's uncontained that they're claiming. That is, I mean, because the vacuum they claim that the gas is not going out into is a violation of the laws of thermodynamics just as much as the gas pressure is and the temperature. You know what I mean? It's like the vacuum is the same amount of violation.
The vacuum itself is a violation. You cannot have a vacuum without a chamber.
Exactly.
No one is talking about the chamber. How can you have a vacuum without a chamber? You cannot. And what happens if you pierce that vacuum? It's going to equalize inside and outside of that container. So, yeah, we don't live in a vacuum. It's a false dichotomy.
So,
and by the way, rest in
tell,
peace, boiling water. You're going to be missed.
Chocolate's trying to say something.
I'm sorry, man. You're trying to say rest in peace to somebody? I'm sorry.
The boiling water. Rest in peace, boiling water. You're going to be missed.
It's the fact we live in a vacuum, is it?
I was going to say somebody should go back and tell, was the guy that did that demonstration, George Porter, something like that, where he divided the vacuum with the bromide or bromine. I forget what it was.
Bromine, yes.
Bromine, yeah. He did that wrong. Why'd you have that separation between the two? You shouldn't have had that because obviously you don't need containment.
You should have been able to turn on and off gravity.
Yeah.
Hey, but when we showed that
his
guy
example
Nick in
needs two
politics
containers.
that time, the guy Nick in politics that time said, "Oh, a 1950s video." Good rebuttal, Nick.
Yeah, as if entropy was different in the 1950s than 2024. Come on now, Nick.
Oh, the science changed, guys. The laws of nature's changed, evolved with the globe and people.
What was that idiot saying about oil and heart attacks? It kept hearing him saying that. What the hell was he talking about?
It might have some relevance, but it's not natural science. It might have some relevance. I'm not saying that it doesn't have have some kind of relevance, but it had not. It was a red herring answer away from what he was supposed to be answering. It was dishonesty on his part. Do you know what I mean? So who cares what it was? Like if you wanted someone to hear and listen to him on that point, then that's something we should have talked about afterwards, after he had gone through what he understood and understand about natural science, and not trying to use it as an answer, as a red herring away from him just honestly answering yes or no, or giving what he was able, or being able to admit that he couldn't give what he was being asked to give, and whatever. He wasn't interested in learning. He was interested in waffle and lies, or I should say dishonesty.
You just need to define pseudoscience. That's
just
it.
on
and game over.
Say that again.
He needs to define pseudoscience, and it's game over.
True.
Yeah. Well, just to go back a little bit, I was listening to you talking about when you're talking to someone, and as soon as you give them actual evidence of something, they just don't want to keep communicating with you. When they approach you and ask you or whatever, and then they don't want to talk to you after. That's because they don't want it to be that serious. They just want to have it as an idea in their head that could be a possibility that they might decide on later, but they're undecided on whether they'll ever decide on it. When you give them something that they have to actually address, they don't want to know that. That's serious. That's a responsibility. You know, people shirk responsibility, personal responsibility all the time. And that's a form of that. Just like when they want to place alien races in between them and God. It doesn't matter if there's 50 alien races between us and God. It wouldn't make any difference. You're still accountable to God.
Like when somebody asks you, Brian, give me the 3 constituent parts of the scientific method. What are you going to say?
3, well, there's more than 3 in it, but yeah.
Well, you asked the guy for
parts.
3 yesterday.
No, I didn't. I asked him for the constituent parts of the scientific method, or I asked him for the first part of the scientific method. I might have asked him for the 2. I might have asked him for the. I didn't use the word 3. Definitely didn't use. I had no reason to use the word 3.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
I heard 3.
Well, maybe it was just my accent. I didn't use the word 3.
All right, so just ignore that. You would give a proper answer, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, I'd either, if I didn't know it, I just say, well, I can't give it to you. I don't know it.
If you don't know it, you're going to give a proper answer. I don't know, or you're going to give the answer, correct?
Yeah, if you know it, you'll say it. If you don't know it, then you'll say you don't know it. Or you'll red herring away and try and answer with a different answer that has nothing to do with the question and be dishonest.
And that's exactly what he did.
Like the guy before him, what is it? Curious Much? He said when he gets asked if he doesn't know, he doesn't know. But then later he got triggered too with the treatment of the TY Quattro. What was that?
Well, he got triggered. He did get triggered because he started saying, bringing up ego. When someone starts bringing up ego, when you're displaying confidence, it's a cop-out. If when someone displays confidence, that doesn't mean they have an ego problem. It's just confidence. There's a difference. But when people start calling confidence ego, it's a cop-out. It's a way of demeaning or trying to take the validity of the person's confidence away. And he was bringing the word ego into it, as if ego has anything to do with it. It's got to do with what's right and what's wrong, what's true and what's not.
Yeah,
and
but that was
the word
projection.
ego into it.
But that was projection. He was the one with the ego.
Yeah, because he couldn't handle that. He didn't understand these things. He was the one with the ego. He was the one that couldn't take that he didn't understand these things, and he didn't have the information. But he's pointing the ego finger towards us or whoever. I don't know if it was me specifically or more than me, but he did bring up the term. It's like, that's just a cop-out away from confidence. Confidence is a real thing, and it's not always based on ego. Ego is based on arrogance a lot of the time and other ideas and different things. Confidence is different. I mean, Usain Bolt is confident. Remember, when he was running, he was confident. Did he have an ego? I never noticed him having an ego, but he was still the best of what he did.
No, he was just confident in his speed.
Yeah, look at Michael Jordan. Does he have an ego? Did he have an ego? No,
he
went down in history
had
as the
a
best.
killer instinct.
Yeah, he just went down in history as the best. He was just the best. That doesn't mean he has an ego. He has confidence. He doesn't need it. He doesn't need to have an ego when you've got confidence. You don't need it, if you know what I mean, in the same way. I'm not saying we don't rub our own egos from time to time. We do. Everyone does. But you have to know when you're doing it and know that to not take it serious. But in that instance, that is not an ego. We're not showing ego there. It's just the facts are the facts. End of story. You know, if I know what I'm talking about. He was trying to say, yeah, but someone could say this and that. They can't say anything. I mean, like when we brought up the pitch data to him. But someone might say, I don't care what they say. There's nothing they can say that I don't know how to deal with. Yeah, but they could be, yeah. But that's kind of ego. It's not. I just know. It's not ego to say I know. It's just I do. Yeah, I can prove and support that I know. And I have done. I don't even need to do it. I've already done it for years. With making videos on the subject of air flight and that for years. I fully understand it. Like all the basics of it. I don't need to know how every part of the engine works, but I know how flight works. And a lot of time when I'm listening to people talk about the lift effect and they bring up the Bernoulli principle and different things, it's just like they're complicating something that's very simplistic. I understand. I'm not going to go into it now, but I totally understand it, how simplistic it is. But they want to complicate the hell out of it. But the point being is that he was trying to say there was ego being involved. There was no ego. It's just, I understand it, and that's it. If you're trained as an
Can I ask you a
engineer
question, Brian?
and you go on,
Why do you need a runway to take off? Or to land, for that matter? Why do you need a runway? What's a runway?
well, you need to be able to build up thrust to generate lift.
Yeah, but a runway is horizontal, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get the lift from that horizontal, the runway.
Yeah, the thrust. You build up thrust, then you then you change your accelerator, and that pushes down the tail and pushes up the chord line of the wings, and that gives you a lift.
All right then. Because
I can't remember if it's down.
I don't see it any other way. The whole description of a flight or taking off or landing, it all speaks flat Earth.
Yeah, I mean, every part of it is like, even with the landing, something that Wixit covered a few weeks ago, which was actually pretty good in Globebusters, we're covering the landing process and the mathematics that goes into it. It's one big, massive right-angled triangle. You know what I mean? They must treat. They basically have to treat. If you're in a commercial airliner, you basically have to treat the Earth as a flat plane for 100 to 200 miles to land. You have no choice. You have to. You know, the whole process requires a flat plane.
Yeah, this speech data argument is a killer.
Well, there's no way around it. It's not. It's just a fact, not even an argument. Because how can you argue with something that's a fact? The color green is the color green. That's it. It just is. It's not purple. It's not red. It's green. You know what I mean? It's that simple, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not up for discussion. It's not an opinion. It's a fact.
Yeah, it's not even just an axiom, if you know what I mean. It's just fact. You know, although an axiom is fact, it's like, it's not even it's more, it's just plain as day, no way around kind of thing.
Shutting up.
Kiwi and Cassidy sitting in a tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
That's a good one, Brian.
you were waiting for that, weren't you?
I was, because I owed you that for a good way, because that's all I was getting weeks ago. Brian and Candace sitting in a tree. Every time I tried to bring up the subject.
Nicely done. Touche.
Thank you.
But this goes to show, Brian, that any type of navigation, the Earth needs to be considered flat and stationary to work. Anytime.
Well,
not just the celestial navigation, terrestrial navigation. Now we're talking about flight.
Is Chocolate still here? I'm just going to rumpus the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'm still here.
We want to continue with this, or does he get the gist?
I don't know. Like, okay, so I saw two of the finalists in today's episode of the Final Excrement. So we got Brian.
Final Excrement. Yeah. So we just you already got a sneak peek into the first couple contestants. We can scroll to the end because I think it's important to see the end.
Okay. Yeah.
Does anyone else have a problem with that? Is Nathan still here?
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with it? I'll go to the finalists, and he's knocking them all down.
I don't have
Okay.
a problem. You have a problem.
I don't have a problem.
If you haven't got a problem, you haven't got a problem. No one's got a problem. Is that a
Yeah,
problem?
you said who else has a problem, implying that someone does.
Have you got some problem, Nathan?
Sounds like you have.
All right, let me get set up here. 1 second.
Can I just say, how come Meekin hasn't opened his mouth? He was like, let me in there, let me in there. And he gets in there and not a word.
Yeah, he
That
knows better.
was the longest
Some
10
of us have
minutes
to
I
work
ever-
for a bloody living.
He's in a
Yeah. It's a shame. He's ashamed of the. He's ashamed of
He's
the whole
ashamed.
incident.
Ashamed of the
Ashamed of
incident.
what?
The
Nobody's
incident.
gonna pull Chewy on the
What
10 minutes.
incident? Whoa, what incident?
Tuesday incident.
What about it? What about it? What about what?
He doesn't even care.
Yeah, that's what I miss you guys. I don't even know what you're referring to.
You
all
and
recorded.
Nathan. You and Nathan. Do you want me to play it?
Oh, that. Tell him to shut the fuck up because he has his own show 5 days a week and he gets all excited and then tries to ejaculate over all your point. No, that's not an incident. That's fact. I'd do that again.
It's going to become a problem.
Yeah, he was being a dick because he was he realised I was talking and he continued to power talk me. That's why I called him a dick, because there was no need to give up. And he should have done. Like I would do on every other occasion on his show, I would always succeed, but he decided he was not going to do that and burst through. So, unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to concede. So, no incident
remorse.
there, boys. Just stand by your guns. Standing on business.
Yeah, listen, you need to learn de-escalation. Okay, de-escalate.
No, fuck off. No, no way, mate. No. Some people need to realise if I'm doing something and you talk all the fucking time and you have your own show, no, you're the guy that, as a mate, you should back down. Just like we as mates back down all the time. Realise where you are, what you're doing, and somebody else was actually in the middle of something. It turned last night, I stopped talking because it turned into the Brian agenda and Nathan agenda. There was a poor fucker in there that I kept trying to pull him back to. Nobody wanted to talk to him. They just wanted to talk at him. And then not even give him a chance to respond, somebody else would want to talk at him again. It was very noticeable. So, yeah, there was an incident.
Is that the guy who claimed that confidence was ego? More or less, that I had an ego problem because I was confident about what I spoke about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about him.
We all stop swearing.
So did that moment give you great entertainment then? Did it? So I'm gonna have to re-listen to that then.
Clearly, it did, Adam.
No,
I hadn't given it a second thought, but they all took great delight in that moment, Adam. So yeah, I'll have a listen to it again.
I thought you weren't allowed into the VC today. I said, "Where's Adam at?" And then I heard your voice, and you're not in here. I said, "Where's he at?" They said, "Discord." I said, "Is he being punished?"
Yeah, they've got into making stuff up too, but Adam, it's got that bad.
Well, that wasn't even in my head. It was a momentary moment.
Sorry.
It was just a moment of direction, wasn't it? To me, I didn't know there was an incident. It's hilarious if you guys have the. You're like ballers trying to make a mountain out of a molehill.
We didn't think any of it. We were just thinking. We just used this just as a way of getting on your back today for no reason.
Yeah,
we didn't even discuss it. Yeah, well, when you were looking to get in, we just decided, hey, let's make this thing up and attack Adam on it. That was it. And now you're taking it all deadly serious.
Now we think it is actually an incident. I actually now do think that Adam's taken this to heart, and this was an incident, and we should now focus on it.
Yeah, I think he's making a Tuesday incident out of it.
Yeah, let's find it. Let's replay it.
No, let's not.
Let's first have a special on the whole thing. Ballbusters. Have we just out of that? I thought last night was quite good for that guy to come in and for him to have known Lise, as she's now known. Have we heard anything back? Because we did send her away with a please come back with a hypothesis, which I think it was the best thing we did last night for her to be saying, "Come on, just give us that."
And they're clearly in contact, so we've not heard out now.
I haven't heard anything. Not until now. No. Chocolate. Yeah, chocolate. Shut the hell up! I'm trying to tell you something. Now you're still in the loop because Adam just mentioned Lise. You're going to see Lise in the finalists, and it's going to play right now.
So hold on. Can we just agree on what we're calling it? Is it Lisbeth, Lise, or Jumping Jack Camel Toe? What we're going to call it?
I just like to point out that as a child, people used to give me the wrong name, and I never had the guts to stand up to them and say, "That's not my name."
Oh, you know, I was going to say, Adam. Now you're
the respect.
Sorry, I wouldn't want to talk over you. That should never happen again.
Like Jumping Jack name.
It reminded me of Only Fools and Horses when one of the side characters called Trigger calls the main character, there's two main characters, Dave. Now, his name's Rodney, but he just keeps coming up to him and saying, "You're right, Dave." Now, he never corrects him because the character that he's calling Dave is the weak character of the two main characters. One's all wheeling and dealing, ducking and diving, and the other one's all moaning and mopey and getting things wrong and causing the problems that they have to deal with, right? Well, he gets called the wrong name by a road sweeper, and he just never corrects him. And as soon as he said that, I never had the confidence to correct it. I'm like, "Oh yeah, Rodney, you're that kind, are you? The downtrodden, always moping." "Oh, it was called the wrong name. I just never had the confidence." What? Just say it's not my name. It's like one of the first things I taught my children, how to say hello to somebody and introduce themselves with their name. And then if they get it wrong, correct them. Like the most basic things you can teach a child.
He was introverted. That's what he said.
"Oh, I'm introverted, so call me Sally."
All right, Sally. So, Chocolate, you're up to date so far because Lise, the name that they're talking about, you're going to see her momentarily. Okay, sir?
Copy that.
Here we go. So, okay, here we go. Here we go with the dog and pony show, everyone. Yeah. You knew what we were going to get there. Here it is.
Is the moment that we've all been waiting for. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring everybody onto the stage and let me work on that right now.
Stop big. He pulls everyone in.
All right,
Hey, Bella, whatever your name is, go on mute.
Adding everybody here.
Where's my other phone that you can...
Nope, she won't.
There
we go.
Lighting in here is so bad.
Yeah, it is. So is the mic discipline.
Before you press
okay,
play,
so it's...
I've just had a flashback. I did get told off last night, but it was by Flatsy, because she called me. She said, "Adam Meakin." It was like my mum telling me off. I can't remember what I said, but I do remember getting told off, so I was in trouble last night. There was an incident.
Yeah, the problem was when you shouted me down, I was trying to shout you down because the guy you were trying to protect and include in the conversation was being talked over by you.
Oh, brilliant. So you intervening just added another voice of complexity.
Yeah, so I intervened at first for humorous effect because just by chance, what you were trying to prevent, you started doing to the guest at the point that he said, "Right, guys, I'm going to excuse myself." And then he was going to give his roundup or whatever he was going to do to conclude and say goodbye. And you started talking. So I started shouting you down for humorous effect. But you bit on it with such vigour that it's now stuck in the memory of everyone else, just so you know.
It's brilliant, isn't it? I think it's scarred him, you know.
But you got told off by Flatsy.
We seem to be over it, but...
The non-incident. It's a non-incident, right? But there's nothing going on, so mountain out a molehill it is. And you even had Brian disclaim that in literally the most, clear of terms 3 minutes ago. So yeah, it is.
No, it's an incident now.
So
It's
from
an incident now.
henceforth,
Yeah, Brian, that's it. Let's lean into that. It's an incident
Shut
now
the
because
hell
of how
up.
much you've gone over it, Adam. Now we're genuinely concerned.
So don't overtalk me. So now from henceforth, it's going to be known as the non-incident.
The non-incident incident.
That's correct.
The Tuesday non-incident.
Okay, enough about the
Adam.
Tuesday non-incident incident. We'll move on. Let's press play.
Well, the
Yeah,
other
thanks.
people are right. FED's falling apart. We're going
At
to be
the
Shut up.
seams. At the seams, Neil. At the seams. Anyway, let's press play.
It's giving me a limit of 10 people, so I'm actually going to remove myself.
Oh God. They're a brain surgeon. If you remove yourself from the call, you're not going to be able to communicate with anyone on the panel or the show. Okay, it's like hanging up. Okay. What a fucking bozo.
Actually, if I know, right? If I remove myself, that means you guys won't be able to hear me anymore, right?
Don't do it.
He has to ask him the question. If I remove myself, am I not? Do you think I'm not going to be heard anymore?
Look at them. They're all contemplating it.
Hey, Neil, shut the fuck up.
We should just play the original video now. 'cause
No,
it's
just
so...
spitballing here, but I don't think anyone's going to be able Hey, just shut up. It's almost over.
Okay, well, just everyone
Don't
shut up
hear
for the
you
next 3
anymore.
minutes. We'll just play
You
the video
glue
and we'll have
sniffing
no
idiot.
responses.
Yes, just
Okay.
shut up. Just then we'll play the whole thing, and then that'll be it. And then you guys can go at it.
Well, I don't know. I've never done this before. so-
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Huh?
That's what I think. I think we should be able to hear you.
Okay.
Fucking thing. Stop it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
What's up, you beautiful people?
Okay, what I'm gonna
Good
do
to meet everybody.
is I'm gonna do
All right.
I'm gonna do this because it seems to work out a little better. Let's go back. Sorry, folks. It's lagging too much.
He pulls everyone in.
All right, I'm adding everybody here.
Where's my other phone that you can?
Let's get to the hanging
Here
up.
we go. Okay, so actually, if I remove, I know, right? If I remove myself, that means you guys won't be able to hear me anymore, right?
Don't do it.
Well, I don't know. I've never done this before. so-
Okay, it's fine.
You never hung up on a call before, right?
It's fine. Huh?
Do a
That's
test.
what I think. I think
But their brains are leaking is down there. Do a test, Will. Go ahead and hang up and see if you can still talk to us.
we should be able to hear you.
And see if we
Okay,
can hear.
okay.
Well, there you go. You're gone.
Yeah.
Did anybody
Could be wrong.
Say, go ahead. Sorry.
did anybody ever figure out what's on Brian's face?
Brian. Oh, he had a shaving accident or bashed himself in the face with a spade shovel.
What's up, you beautiful people? Good to meet everybody.
I'll tell you what. No, Will. Oh, there he goes. He come back. He joined the call again. Now he can speak to everyone. It's amazing.
It's okay. I know how I'm going to handle this. It's all good.
You gonna hang up again?
Okay, so number one, what I don't want to do is I don't want to pull a Steve Harvey. There was some sort of like a beauty pageant in the past.
Sort of, or was it a beauty pageant?
Where he read off the wrong name, and that would be embarrassing. All right, so before
you've already embarrassed yourself enough here today, there, Will.
we do this, I want to tell all of you that I wish you could all go with us. I feel connected to all of you. I consider you friends.
I'm sure you do.
Just because we've gotten to know each other through this. And I do, trust me, I do feel bad that I have to eliminate 9 of you right now. And so please, please, please don't take it.
I'm just going to have to cut you off right now, right at the knees. I
What he
know.
could have done is not invite all these people and just choose.
Well,
right?
no, he has to
They
parade them out there for everyone because, these people, just like with 99% of people, they got issues. He's trying to portray flat Earth as crazy with non-flat earthers.
I
What's wrong
understand
is
that.
these
but,
people.
I mean, we all know
Mm.
that this is just.
Who the hell is talking? Is that you, Elijah?
Well, I stopped to let her get the rest of her point out.
Shut the fuck up.
Please stop swearing.
We're just. No, okay. Listen, Elijah, maybe you weren't here to get the instructions. We're letting this play through without any comment, and then I'll end it, and then everyone can comment. Okay, Chocolate?
For him to say this is that he doesn't mean it.
Yeah, it's a charade, is what it is.
So-
That was Elijah in the
Like what I
hangar.
said is, it could have been.
Was it?
That was on the knife.
No, it wasn't.
He's not here now.
No, Elijah's in Discord. Everybody just shut up.
Oh, sorry.
Elijah's not in there, you glue sniffer. Look over here. Flatsy, QE, and Betty.
Oh, sorry.
He done easier.
Yes, I
to
am.
get
I'm
these
over here.
people out there and then disappoint them. I mean, if you really wanted to avoid that, he could have.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, duh.
Personal. Everybody that submitted an entry. We had 40 entries, as I mentioned. Thank you all. I just enjoyed reading your stories and learning more about you.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Hmm.
Oh, my God.
All right.
Will,
So here,
will you
yes.
ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Brian has a question. You know, brains are leaking?
Yes.
All right. You don't have to answer, but
Maybe if you had a decent mic, everyone could hear you.
am I to understand? So you're not the one. You're not the one paying for this golden ticket, but you are the one, the sole
No, he's not paying for the golden shower ticket. No.
judge. You alone.
That's correct. Yep.
Trying to get it.
Okay.
Okay.
I wish I had a chance to say one more thing, man.
Yeah, go ahead. You had a chance to say one more thing. This is your last chance. Brains are leaking.
You want to say it real fast?
Yeah. I mean, this. I don't know what this trip means to each and every person individually, but I've looked into this. I've already got the predictions on what.
Oh, you've already got the predictions. You mean the hypotheses? Can you share one with us?
Hypothesis.
We should expect if the Earth was a globe, and
Yep. He's a full-on flat Earth believer. With the globe-tard predictions, right? Right, Brian? 8 years you've been out here. My God, what an embarrassment.
I've already got certain tests worked out.
He's got certain tests worked out too.
Got some equipment. I've got infrared.
He's got an infrared thermometer you can shove up your ass, Will.
Anyway, I'm prepared for this, and so this is a quick note to the benefactor.
This is a quick note to you. Why don't you sell some of that dumbass equipment you got and get a halfway decent mic, you moron.
If you got it like that, if you have that much money, there are some eager people on this panel, and it doesn't only have to be one, does it? If I don't get to go, I'll pass on my equipment. I'll pass on my equipment and my ideas to the people
To the people, that's mighty white of you, Brian. Thanks.
who are. So good luck, guys. Thank you.
How many is it?
Why don't you get some cork so you can stuff it into the holes in your ears? Go ahead, Betty.
How many dollars is it to go to Antarctica?
I think it was 32,000.
Okay.
All right.
To see what?
Last word, Will.
Yep.
They're going down to see they're affirming the consequent formological fallacy.
They're going to see their fallacies, huh?
Yes, that's why they're going down. Yeah.
I think more people need to go there then.
More people need to see the fallacies too. I agree.
Yep. Thanks, Brian. Okay.
Thanks, Brian. Let's use the first one to get kicked out.
So, just so you guys know a little bit about me,
he's a moron and a demonstrated fraud. Has an IQ about 1.5. I may be highballing.
I like suspense.
He should have given it away when when he asked the question that if he hung up, that maybe he wouldn't be able to talk to you guys. He wasn't sure.
I like a little bit of drama.
He likes suspense and drama.
And disappointing people.
And Chanel number 5.
Like the element of surprise.
What's that, Flatsy?
And parading people.
Yeah, parading his pawns, non-flat earthers. Yep,
Yeah,
that's
and
what he
pissing
likes
on
to
their
do.
backs.
Say again?
Pissing on their backs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why I named it the Golden Shower Ticket.
Now, again, this does get me in trouble. It gets me in trouble with my wife.
What's his name?
And it got me in trouble with the final experiment, right? I was trying to.
How would you get in trouble with the final experiment when it's actually the final excrement? Number 1. Number 2, the final experiment is a concept. How can you get in trouble with a concept, you reifying retard?
Keep it a surprise. And so anyway, here's what I'm going to do.
Frontal lobotomy?
Again, please know that we are friends, but I have to narrow this down to one person. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music.
We're friends. I'm going to have to narrow this down. I have to cut you off at the knees, but I'm going to play some music for you.
To kind of set the tone. And then I'm just going to remove you guys one at a time. And the last person that remains is the golden ticket winner.
The golden
so here we go.
The golden shower ticket.
And then
here we go, folks.
Go.
Join in with the fiasco. Bye-bye, brains leaking.
He went first.
So this really is a game show.
Wait a minute. What does Flatsy think? Who does Flatsy think that's gonna?
Oh, I forgot to ask the question. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. For the folks who haven't seen this, you got to make your choice on who is going to be the last person for the final excrement, the golden shower ticket.
Excrement.
So just, I can't see the chat, so go ahead and make your choices if you haven't seen it. I did it to Betty. She made her choice. And if I'm not mistaken, Betty, it was the Crumbster.
Yeah, I was rooting for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the crop trail that he would leave.
The crumb trail that he would leave. Exactly. Yeah.
He heard who wins.
Oh, you already heard?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't spoil it for everyone.
Down.
Somebody says the lady in red.
Cassidy. Oh, I wish. Believes, I'll tell you that much. Or whatever her name is. Look at this doofus over here, this tennis pro, Mr.
Maybe she's the sister of that Sean guy. Remember the audio guy?
Yeah, audio guy. Didn't he have boobs?
Yep. Oh, it could be transition now.
I'm sorry. Did he have boobs? I think. Oh, never mind, Betty. Please. I got a little throw up in the back of my. Why don't you Google that skull behind you on your dream catcher? Did you see that? Her sister was saying, kick her ass out.
To be honest, I like the sister better than the other one.
Watch up here, folks. Watch this.
Gone. Gone with the wind.
What?
Gone with the wind.
Yeah. Couldn't happen to a better person. Oh, Betty, I got some bad news for you.
He's gone. He didn't leave a trace.
Yep. Not even a crumb trail. You know my choice.
Cassidy.
Who is it? Say it out loud.
Cassidy.
You got that right. Uh-oh.
Good luck, girl.
Good luck, girl. Look at
So the one with the bangs or not with the bangs?
Okay, let's see.
And we have a winner.
Oh my God! Thank you, God! Thank you, DFP! Oh
Thank
my
you, God.
God! Oh my God! Oh my gosh!
It's okay.
Oh,
Take a deep breath.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Congratulations, Liz.
Oh my God. There you go, chocolate.
Camel jumper.
My God.
That's it, Nathan.
Yeah, I'll put my screen share back up. Can you stop presenting?
Yep.
It's nearly like you're disappointed, Nathan.
I'm not in the slightest. I've seen it. It's not that I'm disappointed. It's just I've seen it a lot. That's it.
Yeah.
Too much.
Well, that was the first for me. And I just feel like I was just watching a game show.
Yes. So right after the show, chocolate, keep you up to date. There was a gentleman that offered this money. Will didn't acquire the funds. He just took the email as read, right? And the next day, he said more or less it was a joke. So Lisbeth, so the rug was pulled out from under her the next day.
What?
And we're getting blamed.
Yes. Then McBooger Eater and Will Duffy made claims that he got scammed, but it wasn't a scam because with a scam, you would have to lose some type of money in the event. He lost no money, so it wasn't a scam. His dumbass got duped at best because of lack of due diligence and vetting principles that he didn't employ. So they went on that whole campaign that Will got scammed like a bunch of retards. We exposed that. And then we found out who the actual scammer was. And he was on my show yesterday.
A brown guy.
You know, remember New Moon Chocolate, the Indian lad?
The name is sort of familiar, yeah. Recently.
That's the prankster.
He's the prankster. He's a really naughty, naughty, naughty boy.
Because Indians are known for scamming.
On the McToon. McToon went totally racist on him. All the scammers are from India. All those Indians are scammers. That's basically what he went. His true colors came out.
Wow.
Wait, do we want to play that little part?
So wait a minute. So all of this, like this whole thing I just watched with this girl getting so excited that she supposedly offered this money to go to Antarctica, that's all fake. That was somebody playing a joke on Will because they told him that he would supply them, that they would supply the money to him to give it to whoever this finalist is supposed to be. Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that person was New Moon. New Moon sent him an email, nothing more, a couple of emails. Didn't get him any money, didn't do anything. This is the story we're getting.
Naughty, naughty New Moon.
And then going off of that, Will did all this, the final excrement, all this whole little game show, and had disappointed all these people, then made this girl all excited off of an email with no confirmation that this actually was going to happen.
Yes.
Wow.
You're quick on the uptake.
Well, I'm chocolate, man. What do you mean?
Yeah, but no.
Super Saiyan.
But now after all this, after McBooger Eater came out as a fucking bigot racist, they all of a sudden got all the money for her. So she's going now again.
Going now again. Oh my God. All right.
Talking about racist. Chocolate, have you ever eaten cat?
Not that I'm aware of, my friend.
He's really going in on you there, Chocolate.
No, it's not going in. There's all sorts going off. The only person that's got some kind of 6 degrees of separation that I know that could say, yeah, actually, it's perfectly normal.
Pets.
Haitian is not a race. It's a group. It's a
It's a
nationality.
place. It's a place where they fry cats.
I'll be
As long
honest.
as we're not around those scamming sons of bitches, damn Indian sons of bitches.
That's racism. Inquiring whether or not a people from a particular island use a particular animal as a food source that may or may not be offend other people's sensibilities is irrespective as to how tasty they are when you dip them in hot sauce.
Facts.
But Q, did you say that this new moon guy was on your 6.5 hour long stream last night?
Yeah, we were looking for you.
Yeah, we needed you.
My
Arthur.
God. My sleeping hours,
missed it.
you mean like... Go ahead.
I mean, like he was in here and we were questioning him. Yes.
Are you a scammer?
Yeah, you Indian some bitches. You're all scammers.
Let's
Was
play
that the
that.
reason that the stream went on for 6 hours long?
You're waiting for you.
He wasn't on there for the full 6 hours, but he was on for a good part of it. Yes.
I wasn't planning to listen to that. I couldn't even start because it was so long. But now I have to. My God. I can't wait for it.
Yeah,
We
you
could
got
give
to
you-
defend your
fished one of-
nation.
We
Yeah,
can give
and
you
I
a
also fished
preview of it.
my... I
We
also fished
can
my
give
previous
you-
videos from
Shut
like...
up! Shut up!
Oh my God.
We can give you a preview of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Adam caused an incident as well.
It's a non-incidental incident.
Adam caused the non-incident.
Yeah, I heard all about it. So I was
Oh,
thinking it was on Nathan's show. It was also...
My God, it's made it to India.
Scammers got to know.
Okay, we won't play the whole thing. We'll just play the really important part from Flat Earther. Got to find it, so just be patient. About 2
So in
minutes.
the meantime, I would say what I was going to say when you shut me up. So I also fished my videos from like 1.5 years ago and caught hold of this guy. I have his audio, and there also why I came into altercation or verbal altercation with this guy was because he was promoting Witset and David Weiss and Jeranism. And I told him that I don't feel that Witset is doing a great job of representing Flat Earth on any platform. And that was our point of disagreement. So it's in my videos as well. That same guy.
Okay. All right, I'm going to share again. I don't know if this is the exact spot, but I'm in shot or hand grenade range or shotgun range. So 1 second. Share now for Flat Earther. Here we go.
The look at on the Discord server here, the quality of the photo, the quality of the screenshot. This could not have been from Flatzoid's live stream. The quality is nowhere near. New Moon is the one that posted this on my Discord server, and the only person who could have shared that on Flatzoid's was the same person. unless somebody's sharing it around. So there. Yeah, there's no question that it's new moon. And there's no question that New Moon has been a flat earther for a long time. I debated him almost a year ago. New Moon is the scammer. So it's very sad. India is unfortunately well known as the place where scammers are.
You get that, Arthur?
That's not too racist.
You wait. He's
Not
got
this
a
part.
separate silo for the blacks chocolate. Don't worry.
Sorry, can you stop interrupting the scammer? I mean, Arthur. Go ahead.
My God, I wasn't talking about this part. This part I heard already. I thought New Moon was on your Kiwi live show yesterday. I wanted to hear that part. You scammed me, Kiwi.
That part was on there. Now you're going to hear it again, and you're going to be questioned, and you will give answers, sir.
No longer is it the Nigerian prince. India took over the country that is known for scammers.
Okay, there you go. So you took over Uganda.
Stereotyping Indians.
Capital.
Do you have any data, official data?
You took over Uganda as the scamming capital. What do you have to say for yourself, Flat Earther?
Can you back up your statement with some data?
Can you justify the... Excuse me. Can you defend
this?
this stereotype? How dare you not abide by this stereotype and defend it?
Well, no answers then. Okay, let's continue.
And New Moon sadly just fits that stereotype perfectly.
Yeah, the stereotype that you conjured. Yes, now you're confirming it. It's a reverse double stuff.
It's not New Moon. His name is Arpit Sharma, and it's sad to besmirch the good name, the good reputation of the Sharma surname too. I've got some friends with that name, and
I've got some black friends. I'm not racist, honest.
Good people, but not Arpit. Arpit's not good people.
He's not good people.
Now, could the emails have been faked? Well, I have them all, and they are all DKIM signed. Now, remember, I do email for a living. DKIM domain.
Does anybody know what that is anyway?
I do email for a living?
He's one of those guys that sends thousands of spam emails out, isn't he?
What, a scammer?
For lack of a better word, yes.
Doesn't look Indian to me.
He's a fisher. Domain keys is a way to cryptographically sign an email. It cannot be modified and then still pass sort of a check.
Sort of check.
So it's provably not manipulated. So nobody could have manufactured that except for the person that owns that email address. That's the only person that could have done it. And I can give you these emails if you need. So send me a DM if you're interested. So New Moon, hang your head. You are a scammer. Unfortunately, you have continued the negative stereotype of Indian scammers.
Holy shit.
You have also unfortunately continued the stereotype of gotta lie to flurf. And now here's the question I have for truthers. Those, right, there's, anybody that calls themselves truthers, basically everybody else knows the people that use truther to describe themselves, they're not truthers. So the question is, to the flat earth community that call themselves truthers, will you be truthers and expect members of your community to be truthy.
I'm truthy. I'm a truthy.
Is this con really sitting here trying to stand on some sort of principle? Are we supposed to take this seriously from this guy?
You're not truthy. And neither are those some bitchin' Indian scammers.
Will you go and
Hey.
confront New Moon and
Flat Arthur?
I'm the
you from
truthiest
India,
one
right?
of them all.
What?
I'm the truthiest one of them all. And in my defense, as far as the scamming is concerned, can you please stop talking? So, in my defense, as far as scamming is concerned, I got scammed myself by my Indian brothers. Real
That's
bad.
it. You proved it.
So you agree with McToon? You're better than Nigerians.
Not sure about the scammers, but I was really foolish. Now that I think of it in retrospect.
What did you do? Give them some money for a trip to Antarctica?
Oh no, I learned my lessons. I've learned a very good lesson. Despite the money that I lost, the lessons that I've learned from it are invaluable.
Don't trust Indians.
That's dots, not feathers.
Stereotypes are based on somewhat true things, I suppose.
Yeah, they're based on racism. All right. You're not being truthy. That's it. Stop sharing. Bye.
They say all Italians are mafioso. Come on, Flat Earth, defend your nation.
Yeah, we're not going to force him to defend the stereotype that McToon's created. Yeah, it's outrageous, and as much as it's fun to be sarcastic about it, it's still outrageous. We're making light of it because of its outrageous and its nature, right? That's why we're making light of it.
Absolutely.
Maybe you.
I'm appalled, man.
I call a spade a spade.
What's up, D?
What's up? McBooger needs to be literally smacked in the teeth with a laptop for taking the time to do that video. Something's wrong with him, man.
No.
Something's wrong with him. Something's wrong with him. Something's seriously wrong with him.
Yeah, he's a bigot and a liar.
I mean, everyone is in some kind of way inadvertently, or whether they just live like that. This guy took the time out to set up his camera, set up his lighting, get dressed, brush his teeth, or whatever. He really premeditated this to get on here and do this. And I only caught the ending, the last maybe 5.
That's the real problem.
Psychotic.
The manipulation on humans' natural proclivity to be bigots.
Proclivity. I like that word.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. In some way or another, we have our own prejudices, presumptions, and, our little bigot stereotype things, some more severe
The
than
hell
others.
you say? The hell you say? Speak for yourself. And
No,
not
come
those
on, come on.
scamming sons of bitches.
Come on, it's even amongst someone who looks like you. You know what I'm saying? If you see somebody that's not dressed a certain way, or look, you assume they stink, or there's a lot of things. You assume they don't. You assume a big person, a big female can sing. There's different things that are little minuscule. Some are severe.
That's outrageous.
Yeah, tell the truth. They got a commercial with a woman, a heavy-set woman. Okay, and you could tell she's lip syncing on the commercial, but they're using her to be a singer, and the metaphor is not till the fat lady sings. So people assume that hefty people, or especially hefty so-called African American women, they all can sing. So they use this to grab a demographic to market. Yeah, I mean, stereotypes are everywhere, and you can call stereotyping bigotry because it's the same thing. You have to be a bigot to stereotype. Like I said, some are minuscule, some is severe, but everybody that stereotypes is a bigot in some kind of way. So that's why I understand what was that Chocolate that said it or Elijah? See, I'm stereotyping because I couldn't see his thing is hidden. That was Chocolate, right? Yeah,
that was
Chocolate
Eli.
said that.
No, that was Eli that said that.
It was Eli? Okay, my bad. Eli. You all sound alike. I'm sorry. Let me stop. I'm just saying.
But
It's like,
you know what's good, Rose, is when one of us did that before over the years when we mixed up Chocolate and Eli when they spoke.
I'm not gonna
It's like
lie,
as
it's
if
like 2
we
or
were.
3.
It's like
It's
as
like
if we were stereotyping Chocolate and Eli. It's just all those black lads are the same.
No,
But
no.
you're a black lad,
No,
and
no,
you
no,
mixed
no.
it up.
No,
Wait a
don't get
second. Chocolate
confused.
black?
this is
Hold
not.
on.
Hold
It's
on.
impossible for
Hold
you to
on,
say
hold
it,
on.
Neil, because Nathan didn't allow me to say it. It's impossible.
Yeah, because I won't. It's nonsense. They just sound alike.
That's what
And
I'm
if I made the
saying.
error.
That's
Yeah,
what
how
I'm
many times have I
saying.
made the error? I
They
made the error.
don't
This is like the
sound
fifth time.
anything alike. I never ever confused the two, not once.
Well,
Me
that's
either.
because some people pay more attention to detail, either audio wise or reading wise or whatever. Like some people pay more attention, and those are things that you pay attention to, like
Nah,
different
don't
inflections and
flatter yourself.
tone. And
You're both
Okay, now
black. You both
Chocolate,
got
you
shit
did that, right?
mics.
no, it's true.
Chocolate's right.
I know that a normal person would think that we sound similar. We're from New York. We're black. However, I can tell the distinctions because I pay more attention than the average person.
Wait, are you saying you know you're not Chocolate? Wow, give the guy a medal.
That's what I
Well,
was
See?
no,
saying.
Now,
because
see? I thought
actually,
that was Chocolate talking.
someone was playing. My girl was playing a tape. Well, my ex was playing a tape back one day, and I was like, "Yo, I said that. That was crazy, but it was chocolate."
So you even make
Okay.
the mistake. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, I have.
And especially when Elijah sounds like he has a stuffy, congested head, he really starts to sound like Chocolate.
Hey,
You
listen,
racist
Mr. Lefty.
It's
bitches, you.
humorous when
You
there's a
sound like you're
genuine.
talking like this, like you can't breathe through your nose. It's a little bit like that.
They just insulting each other. When there's a genuine,
Listen, Mr.
sincere,
Lefty.
these two guys sound similar, right?
Hold
When
on.
you just lean into the absurd extreme of a stereotype that can be made, it's done for pure humor. Like immediately reverting to, oh, it's because we're both black, right? And then one of you gets aggressive. That's humorous. It's funny. But it's nothing like McToon stereotyping the entire country.
Exactly. Of being scammers, of being crooked, of being malicious. That's like, I mean, that's the most severe you can be. All black guys are thieves. All black women are promiscuous. He might as well say that.
That's
all white women.
bullshit.
All white women. All white women don't have
None of that's
butts.
true. But all Indians are scammers. That's for sure.
I wonder if we can go back to before 2014, if these guys are calling out like politicians for scammers or certain bank frauds and shit like that. Do they really care about this stuff or?
No, they care that they've come off looking bad and that their guru, Will Duffy, in this instance, has come off looking like somebody who's completely incompetent.
I wonder if they would have put in the same effort to call this guy out if he was a Glober.
No, they're going to defend him. Dunning-Kruger deflector shields at 110%. Off they go defending him.
Well, the fact that Will Duffy is a successful businessman with a lot of money, it's very easy to con people like him, because you get to being a very successful businessman with a lot of money because you're so naive. You're going to address that.
But have y'all noticed that in the Glober circle, they all circle jerk one another, but in the flat Earth side, we critique one another harshly. I mean, we have
No, we do
family
that.
wars all the time.
not flat Earth
if
side.
you will.
We do that.
Well, you know, yeah, we do
90%
that.
of
I
us
mean,
don't. No, they don't do that. 90% of us don't critique each other and will circle jerk also in flat Earth. We don't do that.
right. But name a glober that goes up against another glober. I don't know if
T-Rose, you are correct.
there is actually an example.
T-Rose is correct.
He
Nathan
is, but there is one
incorrect.
example that
Nathan is incorrect.
okay, even though I've got
We
an
are
example
flat
I'm being
earthers.
precluded from making. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but you wouldn't allow me earlier, so this is payback.
Well,
We are
fine.
flat earthers, right? We are flat earthers. Those who do not critique each other and pat each other on the back when they know each other are wrong are not flat earthers.
Okay. But there is an example where globers have critiqued each other. And I brought this up yesterday on Quantum Eraser's show, which is to say that in the past, when there's been shady GoFundMe campaigns, then globers have suddenly stepped out of line where they typically will, what you call circle jerk, pat each other on the back, defend nonsense, like with Will Duffy. It's not, what an idiot, why didn't you do your due diligence? What an idiot, why did you think that if you hung up a call, you'd still be in it? You know, nobody's going to do that. But when it comes to money, they will. I've seen it happen. So based on that, I've encouraged people to approach law tubers that they might be familiar with or have subscriptions to that they watch regularly and make comments on and say, would you be interested in somebody committing fraud with an Antarctic trip? Have a little goosey over here.
How did that trip go?
One day.
Go.
No, Jackson.
It's in December if they go.
Oh, okay.
What was interesting last night, Nathan, I don't know if you saw this part of Kiwi Live because it was early in the night, was that Will Duffy was on Red's Rhetoric's channel talking about, or his TikTok or whatever, talking about the whole thing. And we only heard a little bit of it. But it was funny because he didn't mention anything about the claimed scam, that happened to him. Not a word. Because that would kind of bring up, let's just say, skeletons out of the closet of Red's Rhetoric and his friends who were actively scamming their own community. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, people came out of the closet when that happened on their own side. Same with Craig. Craig was commissioning various different work to be done on his videos. The guy did the work, he didn't get paid. And then he came out, started spilling the beans on various other things that had occurred because he was disgruntled about payment. Like I say, when it comes to money, people take very different... Suddenly their religious belief might take a back seat for a moment. You know what I mean? If somebody's scammed within a church, they don't say, we're all brothers in Christ. They go, where's my money? You scam me. Yeah? Well, that's how people are generally when it comes to money. They'll put it above all else. Yeah? There's a reason they say, what the Bible says, the love of money is the root of all evil. This won't look good. Now, Greater Sapiens managed to do it in a much more subtle way, didn't he? So that managed to slip under the radar. This won't. Too overt. It's trying to garner too much interest. Somebody will prick their ears up. Oh, Candice Owens interested in this Antarctic trip. They buy the bait. Suddenly they're interested. Well, I'm interested in how dodgy you are. That's what I focus on here on my LawTube channel. Let's have a look at Duffy. And off they go. He's garnering up all this cash, right?
Well, what was interesting was Jerry from, Jerry Greater Sapien, he turned back up there a while back. After disappearing for, 6-7 years, he suddenly turned back up somewhere. Attacking a flat
Well, it
earth,
just depends. It depends how big a hole they've dug for themselves and how long they have to stay in it and then crawl back out again. So often you'll see people, it happens to us all the time, right? They'll come, they'll get annihilated, and then they'll vanish, like conspiracy cats. They don't want to be seen because some boxers asked them how you have gas pressure without a container 20 times, or me asking him 110 times. Then they vanish, and then 3 or 4 years later, they're like, pop their head above the precipice, and Anybody notice that I've popped my head back up? No. Right, I'll put out a little bit more of my body out of this hole I dug 3 years ago. Well, he had to wait 7 years, right? And what, is there anyone still around that remembers that screwery that I was dealing in? No, nobody noticed? Right, I'll start talking again. Hopefully no one will remember that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what they do. It's like, let's disappear for a while, let's that didn't go well, and wait for a bit of time and then respawn as if nothing happened. I mean, how you can do that, I don't know, but they can.
Yep,
exactly. Well, Rumpus hasn't respawned.
I think he's kind of just kind of not, people on his own side aren't interested in him, basically. He's just kind of annoyed everyone, I think.
That's right, he did. He annoyed his side too.
And neither has, unless he's been locked up, Craig Tightshirt.
He's around somewhere.
Locked up for what? Beating up women?
Yeah.
Well, Craig's around somewhere. He's going to on that Antarctica thing, or supposedly trying to go. But he's around. Maybe he's on TikTok instead of YouTube.
So when you start making memes about this stuff, you need, like, I don't know, Craig and Simon Dan down in Antarctica, and they're all trying to live stream, and Will Duffy comes along, sits with them, and they all fall down a crack together, and they're all trying to figure out how to live stream, and they're like, don't break radio contact, we'll die down here, and Duffy goes, if I just cut the line, do you think we can all live stream together? You know, securing their death. But based on literal experience of what this guy has done, that could be the scenario. Don't let Duffy operate the radio. If you're in his team, take it off him.
Funny.
And maybe they'll never find their way back home because they'll be too busy trying to measure the height of a celestial body zenith above them and waste months doing that.
If he can't be relied upon to secure funding for a ticket he's giving away, how can you rely on him to do any of the organisation? I wouldn't trust this guy to make me dinner.
Yeah, but that whole thing with the ticket, I'm going to be straight. Look, I tried to go into it last night, and Kiwi didn't want it. But I'm going to try it now, and I might be told to shut up now. I don't think or believe for a moment that Will Duffy just got an email and just went with that and did this whole competition. And he's a big naive idiot. I don't think for a moment he's a big naive idiot. Not for a moment. Will is not pulling that wool over my eyes.
So is he Kaiser Duffy?
Well, he's definitely. Nobody ends up being worth multi-millions and being a successful businessman and makes a mistake like that. That just doesn't happen. Because when you've got money, everyone is trying to scam you. And the smartest of scammers want to get people with money. And it's not just the fact that they're trying to get the money, it's the fact that they fool the person. So it becomes a constant, an absolute constant, that you're dealing with people trying to scam you through business. Right?
Hey, has anybody validated that this guy has this type of money?
Well, supposedly he does have businesses and stuff, yeah. I just don't believe for a moment that Will Duffy would get an email and just go, that's good enough, unless he decided to do it on purpose, knowing it wasn't good enough. But I just could never see someone in his financial position doing that. Never. Nathan, you met rich people. How stupid are they with their money?
Not at all.
Or with any money?
Not at all. They're the people who are
Exactly.
richest were the ones that would haggle the hardest.
Yeah, and they are the ones who do not want to get caught by a scammer. Getting caught by a scammer for a rich person, a rich business person, is like a person who's a boxer who never got knocked out get knocked out. Especially if they get, and certainly not get, imagine someone who was a world champion pro boxer, never got knocked out, never lost, and suddenly somebody who's way down the ranks, who's not important at all, comes in and knocks him out. That looks worse than anything, right? Right. Whereas that's the same equivalence if you put it over for someone, let's say like New Moon, who's just some random Indian guy who sends an email and basically gets one over on Will Duffy. I mean, who would ever, you know what I mean? There's no way that would happen. Go on.
So, just for my clarification, right? So, this trip is supposedly still on, right?
Yes.
And this girl, Lisbeth, who was going and then wasn't going because it turned out to be a scam, but now is going, is still going, right?
Yeah, they put up a GoFundMe for her.
Yeah, but she's now called Lise, not Lisbeth.
And some rich benefactor of somebody else has stepped in to cover the extra costs. In spite of that, the GoFundMe's still going, even though apparently it's been covered.
I've just checked that, Nathan, 2 minutes ago. Yeah, still up and running. Sat at 6472 still, but it's not been closed.
Now, who else is supposedly like 100% going on this trip?
Oh, there's a list. Brian has it.
Up. You want? I'll show you. Can you see screen, Chocolate?
Yeah, I can see it.
Give me a sec, then I'll share some of the web with you.
Stick it up, and then I'm going to round out. Are you going to screen share it, Adam? There we go.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Thank you.
Now.
Yeah, once we've got this out of the way, I'm going to round out.
So this is the interviews. This is the Antarctica bound section. So you can see that the people that are confirmed as going, Jaron, Dave McKeegan, Whitsit, and even though this isn't updated, Lise is being funded apparently. So they're the people that are definitely going so far. The following, these three here, McToon, Globy, and Critical Think, they're at levels of about $6,000, $7,000, and $8,000 crowdfunding each, but they've obviously got to get to 30. So that's it, basically, John.
Okay,
right. Back to work.
So there's no
just one sec. Right, go ahead, one deck, and then I've got something to round out with. Go ahead.
I was just saying, so there's no flat earthers going there.
No, there's only true earthers or true earthers going. Okay, right. Tomorrow I'm getting new internet, so I might not have a show, depending on if that causes any issues or takes a long time. Just so you're aware. If you just see me signing in and giving you the link, obviously there's going to be a live show. Ideally, there'll be a live show tomorrow, but I just want to prepare you just in case there isn't. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
There is. With that, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a member, hitting me up on PayPal and Ko-Fi and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.